This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. We are ready to rock and roll. It is Friday. You made it. You're here. You're ready to relax. We're going to relax. We're going to relax and recharge and have some fun this weekend. I hope you all are doing well. We've got, of course, Sean Stanley mastering this program like he does every single day. He was mastering last night, doing a little wrestling talk. Good support last night from the folks. Even saw Cash App pop in there, which was pretty cool. That little super chat action for Sean Stanley last night. I like that also. So great support for Sean yesterday. Appreciate all of you out there. Appreciate all of you supporting our platform. I see we got a bunch of folks already loading up on the chat board. I see Steve Chapman in and Jamie Zorrian, folks. I like it. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, and we had some college football last night. That Purdue game was a lot better than I expected, actually. I kind of was like half-ass watching it. I was like, all right, well, this is kind of entertaining, and congratulations to FIU. They get by, what was it, Bryant, I think it was? Yeah, Bryant, 38-37. I did not watch it. Was it on television somewhere? I don't even know. I don't even know if it was on TV or not. I wasn't sure. Was it on TV, Sean?
No, I think it was on that ESPN3, so I was able to watch it on ESPN Plus.
Oh, so it was on Plus. Oh, I could have watched it then.
Yeah, I watched it at the end when I saw that Bryant had the lead, and then FIU came back and tied it up and then won in OT.
I should have. I should have watched it. Actually, they got a quarterback that threw 4 touchdowns yesterday in that game. So Grayson James threw 4 touchdowns, and Chambers had 2 touchdowns to wide receiver, 8 receptions, 86 yards. So congratulations, paws up to FIU, obviously with my wife and my daughter, both FIU grads. So I always have love for FIU and what they're trying to accomplish. I would love to see them. I'd love to see FIU and FAU get over the hump and become pretty good programs. That would be a lot of fun since they are in South Florida and they've got all this stuff to all these players and this background to recruit from. And they can and the alumni bases that they have are just absolutely amazing. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some college football. We got some NFL talk, all kinds of stuff. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Oh, and crypto. I guess the jobs report, I think they added like 310,000 jobs, which is good. It's nice to see that some people actually want to get back to work. I am amazed that some of you out there were able to survive without working, which I don't know how to do that. I'm not sure how to do something like that survive without working, but it's nice to see it all bounce back. For me personally, I wouldn't mind, couple more dips, you know what I'm saying? But we shall see. It looks like the crypto market could be crossing the $1 trillion mark again today. So we'll see. I think we're months away from making any kind of a run, but it's nice to see some positive news out there. That's for sure. The West Virginia Pitt game also. Yes, that was Pitt ended up winning and eking it out. What was the score? I wrote it down here somewhere. Yes, 38-31. Pitt defeated West Virginia last night. And the Penn State-Purdue one was 35-31. There was actually a couple of really good college football games on last night. If you wanted to be entertained with a little football, I thought that was cool last night that at least we had some college football. I mean, this is their last weekend where they could take advantage of all these nights. So you might as well, rock it out, man, because next week the big boy starts, and then obviously that changes everything. But college football, NFL, it is back. It is our ultimate sports drug. It's what we love more than anything else. And so looking forward to this Dolphins season. I can't wait, man. There's so much to look forward to. And, I'm looking forward to this Canes season. I know that tomorrow is nothing, against Bethune-Cookman. But listen, tomorrow starts the Mario Cristobal era, officially on the field and all of that. And I know they're playing Bethune-Cookman and what is it, Southern Miss the following week, I think it is. No challenges, really. But there is a challenge. Believe it or not, there is a challenge for the Miami Hurricanes. And we watched it under Manny Diaz, that even when you played crappy teams, you looked crappy. When you played crappy teams, you would make a ton of mistakes. You're barely beating a crappy team. Your team is on the sidelines acting like they won against Ohio State. I don't think it'll happen over the next 2 weeks, but you're losing in a game and somebody's on the sidelines dancing and smiling. So I'm telling you about all the kind of shit that went on with Manny Diaz. So that's what I need to see over the next couple of weeks. I need to see organization. I need to see discipline. I need to see domination. That's what I need to see over the next 2 weeks. While we can't judge them on the overall because, okay, dude, you're playing lesser talent. You should be better than them. You should kick their ass. We all understand that. How do you kick their ass? How did you win the game? Did you get a couple guys ejected? Did you commit a whole bunch of stupid penalties? Did you just win based on just talent? Or did you execute, pick them apart, play disciplined football, prove that you're way better, not just in the sense of also, coaching too. Everything. That you're not committing stupid penalties, that you're playing clean football, that you're not making all kinds of mistakes, that you're not barely beating them, that it's third quarter and the game is, you're up by a couple of points or something like that. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm going to measure the Canes and Mario Cristobal on. That's how I view this. For me. And that's how you should see it too, because we're not going to measure it on talent. We'll get there when we get to Texas A&M. But in order for you to at least give yourself a chance at Texas A&M, play disciplined football, play smart, don't commit stupid penalties and turnovers and stuff like that. You do that, then that's a good start to the Canes program and to the Mario Cristobal era. So to me, that's what I want to see over the next couple of weeks. Is this a better coach team? Are they more disciplined? What have I talked about with the Dolphins? What have I told you the last couple of weeks? What I see? I see more organization. Didn't I say that? I see that the offense, that there's something actually to the offense, that it's actually there's play design behind it. There's actual method behind the madness, where last year they were just making it along the way. Okay. They were just making it up, and however they were trying to figure out from one play to another. No, there's going to be a game plan here. And when you look at the Dolphins on the offensive side of the ball, okay, there is way more organization than there was the last year that you saw them. That's what I want to see from Mario Cristobal and the Canes. I know you're better than Bethune-Cookman, dude, but I want you to show me how clinically better you are. I want you to show me how much better you are mentally than they are. I don't want you to just get by because you're more talented and you can make all kinds of stupid mistakes and you win the game by 14 or 15 or 20 points. That's not impressive. I want to see a clean game where you're not making a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, and you're kicking their ass by 45, 55, 60 points. And you've got the third team out there by the end of the game. You see what I'm saying? I want it that where it's so clinical and clean that Tyler Van Dyke needs to sit his ass down probably midway through the second. Okay? It's like 40. You got a 40 burger at halftime. I need to see stuff like that. Now, do they have the receivers? Well, we shall find out. But play some clean football, man. That's what I want from the Canes this weekend. That's all I'm asking for. Nothing more, nothing less. Big O, Sean, do you guys have ESPN Fantasy app? It would be cool if you did something for the listeners there. A pigskin pick'em, unlimited amount of players can join. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, but I'll look into it on the fantasy app. You can do something like that everybody can join in, anybody can join in and all that kind of stuff. That would be pretty cool. If it's limited to like 12, and then I've done that before, and then we have multiple leagues. We did it with Bill one year, and we had multiple leagues, and it was just craziness, dude.
Yeah, with the pick'em, I think you can make it unlimited. It's not a fantasy thing. It's just you pick the games, and then everybody joins in, and then the best record wins.
All right. Do you need me to open up the account or something? Can you set that crap up for us?
Let me see what we got. Let me see what I can do.
If you need me to open up an account or something, I do have an account with ESPN. So if you need me to open up an account or something, I'll do it. Just tell me, and we'll talk about it after.
I got one as well.
Okay. All right. So then we'll create a Big O show one for that. Don't they have one for wrestling, Sean? The hell's going on? Let's go. Create one for wrestling. For wrestling. So who won last night? What happened? What happened with the pay-per-view? What's the
the
deal?
pay-per-view this weekend. There's 3 pay-per-views.
Oh, okay. It's this weekend.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
last night was
calm
just
down, Hot Rod. Just because you're 2-0 doesn't mean that you can just you predict everything now.
well, just tell me when the next fight is, so I can the next match, so I can pick it for you guys.
Well, somebody had asked. It's Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Who do you got?
Oh, McIntyre wins that, dude.
Okay, all right. It is in England too, so
I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you who wins. It doesn't matter.
Home field advantage for McIntyre this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going with McIntyre. I'm going with the Irishman. Is he an Irishman, McIntyre?
I don't know. I think what is he? Scottish. The Scottish Warrior.
Okay, Scottish. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, I was close. Green is involved.
Yeah, Sheamus is the Irish. He's the Irish. Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. But the green is involved, right? Scottish, Irish, green, right? It's there in somewhere. So we'll go with McIntyre. McIntyre will win. Okay. Not a financial advisor. Okay. Just a guy that loves wrestling. And
WrestleDamus.
Right. Exactly. I am the WrestleDamus. Okay. The WrestleDamus. Yeah, WrestleDamus. Okay. Nostra Wrestling. Nostra Wrestler. I don't know. Anyway, so we give you the predictions. There you go. McIntyre. Just saying. Am I giving you the predictions or did I write the script? Am I really the guy behind the scenes writing the script for all of this stuff? All right, you got to figure how is O always right on all of these wrestling picks? Tons of picks that I've made already in the history of my existence here on the show. You gotta really wonder. You gotta ask yourself, how does he always know who's going to win? I don't know. That's for you guys to figure it out. So McIntyre will win. That's all I can tell you. True Fin fan says, I can't wait to play FSU this year. They were rubbing it in last year, and I hated it. John N., did you see Kurt Warner's breakdown on Tua? Yes, I did. Yes. And he does an excellent job of breaking down. And yes, I know the deep pass that he was open instead of his feet straight where he could have. As I told everybody, it's just a timing thing. He's got to get all that stuff. He knows that Tyreek is blazing down, so he's got to get rid of it. And he didn't set himself properly and whatever. The week before, like I've said, I saw him throw a 62-yarder, which is 12 yards farther than the 51-yarder. So it's not like he can't throw it. It's a matter of him setting himself up the right way. Not a big deal. All I care about is it was a completion. We're making too big a thing of a completion. Okay? It's a completion. The kid will be fine. He'll be outstanding this year. I am not worried about Tua one bit whatsoever. Karen S. says it's insane how different McIntyre looks compared to 10 years ago. Might as well be two different people. I tell you, right? McIntyre, yeah, he is a completely different person. Yeah, I'll tell you, he's going to put him in a full Nelson tonight or this weekend and win it. Lisa Rose, a beautiful Friday here in Rochester. A long holiday weekend to all our Finns Nation. Big O and Sean, thank you, Lisa. Josh says, it's funny. Talking about wrestling. I'm going with my Scottish psychopath. Oh, so I picked a psychopath too? There you go. He's crazy like me. That's it. We're going to win. Sean should slip in some fictional wrestlers to see how confidently O picks them. However, if I pick it, they're going to win. Okay? Fictionally or not. All right? Whether it's reality or fiction. In my head, they're going to win, so it doesn't matter. Brooklyn Rob says, did anyone see Mac Jones' real name is McCorkle? Jason Dowell says, hadn't heard yet what's Sean take on the Elite and the United Empire match from Dynamite that was pay-per-view quality. Well, Sean, what do you got to say about that? What's your take on the Elite and the United Empire match from Dynamite that was pay-per-view quality? And why didn't you ask me about who's going to win there?
You did. You took the Bucks and Omega. You picked the right person. That's the Elite.
Okay. That's another. Oh, that's a, yeah.
Remember,
okay,
you know what? I slipped up and I forgot.
I picked so many winners.
I know.
I don't even know. You know, it's just one of those things.
You forget, and it was a pay-per-view worthy match. But again, man, it's the problem with AEW is they put on so much on free TV. Why do you pay $49.99 to watch the same stuff over and over and over again? That's their problem.
And while we're at it, I just want to tell all you wrestling fans out there, you may not want to watch segments where I'm talking wrestling because then I'm ruining.
Yeah, you're spoiling everything.
Right. I'm giving you the end of the movie every single time.
Every time.
So, yeah. So that's not fun for you wrestling people out there. I mean, you know, I'm actually ruining the match for you. You know, and by the way, if you want to be a real dick, when you sit down and watch the match with your friends and family members, just tell them, hey, said this guy's going to win. And then everybody go, oh, God, that's it. And everybody will walk out. That's all. Why'd you have to tell us? Why'd you do that? Ostradamus always knows what's going to happen.
Every time you make a pick, I lose my love for.
I like Ostradamus over the one you came up with. Just so you'll know, I just came up with that one myself.
Yeah, but Ostradamus would be for everything. WrestleDamus would be when do your wrestle picks.
I know, but isn't wrestling part of the umbrella of everything? You know what I'm just saying?
Yeah, Ostradamus. All right, Ostradamus it is. We'll play the little music like, whoa.
Right, yeah. You need to come up with something with Scotty, some kind of an Ostradamus type of thing. Okay.
Yeah,
we've needed it for other things that have happened and surfaced, and you know. So I'm just saying, we have predicted some other things that have happened. So maybe we can.
Yes, you have
an Ostradamus. We need an Ostradamus drop is what we need. True Fin fan. How's that?
You need to clap or two so you can clap off the lights and just have a spotlight when you become Ostradamus.
Yes, exactly. I like that. And why don't you put your face in the damn picture? What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, True Fin fan chimes in on a super chat. He says, people need to look at the throwing motion on Tua's 51-yard pass. He did not put everything behind it. Relax, people. The kid can throw. Well, I just said he threw a 62-yarder the week before. It's not like he can't throw. He threw a 70-yarder to what's the name of the kid that they just cut now? The returner receiver, damn it, that the Patriots picked up. What's his name?
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden Jr. He practices. His trainer is the same one. Lynn Bowden goes to the same trainer that Tua goes to, Nick. And in that practice, he threw a 70-yarder to Lynn Bowden Jr. on video. He can throw the damn ball. Yes, he's got to be set right. Again, he's not the guy that's going to have two guys draped on him and he's going to throw a 40-yard rope. He's not the guy that's going to be leaning sideways and throw a 35-yard rope, sidearm or something. That's not who he is. Just like Montana and Breeze and Fran Tarkenton and a shit ton of quarterbacks like that could never do that either. That's not who they were. And plenty of them, Bob Greasy and so forth, had plenty of success, and some of them even made the Hall of Fame. There's different ways to play the quarterback position. There's not just one way. And the Tua type of quarterback has been successful in this league forever. And he will continue to be successful in this league as long as they're smart, they have anticipatory skills, they have ball placement. All of those things will eventually win out when it's all said and done. And if you watch the Kurt Warner video, he talks about that it's not just about, throwing 80 yards downfield. You've got to be exceptional in everything else. And that's what he is more often than not. What Kurt does elaborate on, that he can't live off of the just big plays, because that's not who he is. That's not who Joe Montana was. That's not who Drew Brees was. That's not who Frank Tarkenton was. That's not who Bob Greasy was. That's not who Chad Pennington was. That's not who even Peyton Manning was. Peyton Manning's bigger than all those guys, but he had their kind of arms. That's the funny part. While Peyton Manning was 6'5", he wasn't really the guy that was going to have two people draped on him and he was going to throw a frozen rope 40 yards downfield. He didn't have Cam Newton's arm. He didn't have Jeff George's arm. He doesn't have Pat Mahomes' arm. And Pat Mahomes, by the way, while he's a guy that can sling it, he's also not a guy like Herbert or Ben Roethlisberger or those kind of guys that can have a couple guys leaning on him and he's going to throw a frozen rope. That's not who he was either. So there's different ways. I just feel like there's too many people out there that don't understand the quarterback position. And that's why they overreact one way on Tua and they overreact on the other way with Lamar Jackson and Ryan Tannehill and the such. But that's all right. That's the way it goes. George Gonzalez coming in strong on the super chat here. Says, greetings from Colorado Springs. Fins Nation in the mountains. Excited about this season. By the way, my alma mater, FIU, finally won one. Yes, sir. We just talked about it right now. Congratulations to FIU. And thank you, George, for listening out there in Colorado Springs. Very nice of you, my friend. DJ Gallagher giving us some love on the super chat. He says, Big O, fresh back from Vegas. Bro, the heat is no joke, isn't it? It's like a freaking oven. Visited Tommy Rocker's, great place. Nothing like DJing in Vegas, baby. You were not kidding. Planet 13 is crazy town. Did you get the contact name for me there? Not contact high, but contact name for me so we can, pick them up as a sponsor. Because, we'd like to go over there and hang out. So thank you, DJ Gallagher. Remember, you can also make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That's Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Ho Yoon, as always, Ho Yoon is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you as he makes a donation through Venmo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. That's the other way. You can also donate Bitcoin, too, if you want, on Cash App or Venmo. There, so you can send that there to us. Not a problem. Appreciate it there. And now, obviously, those donations, we get 100%. Where here, we get 70. 30% goes to YouTube, like they don't have enough money. Anyway, so we got that going on. Tua can throw deep, but interception. That's it. Exactly. He said, because the ball to Hill was intercepted, right? Yeah, it was intercepted. If Tua plays like Montana and wins 4 Super Bowls, I'll take it every time. Well, he's going to win 4 Super Bowls if he has the team and the coaching staff around him. Like any not any quarterback, but a really good quarterback. If you have the players around you, you will have a chance to win big, and we will see. Kurt Warner has a video talking about Tua's. Yeah, we already talked about it already, Alberto. I guess you just tuned in. So we got that already, my brother. I hear Brian Stroganoff is coming back. I missed the days when tuning into wrestling, you got surprised. Braun Stroganoff? What is Braun Stroganoff? What is Braun Stroganoff? Is that more of a food than a wrestler? Because that's what it sounds like. Pat in Asheville says, Dolphin PTSD is real. I had a dream that Tua was snorkeling on and off on his off day this week. He reached down to touch a carpet shark, and it bit him on the thigh. Out for the season. Even sharks hate Tua. Let's see. David Triana says, didn't know that throwing the ball really far gives you extra points. Apparently, that's what these analysts think. Yeah, that's the problem. It's just too in love with one kind of a quarterback. When I can find 100 that can throw the hell out of the ball, and they ended up becoming bad quarterbacks. So you can have all the physical talent in the world, but you could also end up becoming a very mediocre quarterback, even with all the talent in the world. The Dolphins ended up signing Justin Bethel, who had played for New England, veteran special teams guy. He's been on New England's staff. Clayton Fejedelem was placed on the IR, so he's out at least for 4 games. And we'll see what happens with. So for all of you out there, they got our guy, and are they going to get information which he had never even prepared for a game with McDaniel, so he doesn't really know much. Bethel has, but I just don't think it's going to create that much of an advantage for either side. I know for the Patriots, they have no advantage getting Lynn Bowden Jr. because he hasn't been part of McDaniel's preparations and all that stuff and game playing, so he has no idea what McDaniel's going to do. This guy actually has been around and played with the Patriots in the regular season, and he knows their system. But again, I just don't think it's really going to create much of an advantage, to be quite honest with you. I had a little fun. I put a poll question out there on Twitter at Big O Show, because we got a kind of an interesting scenario this year. Belichick obviously has not outperformed Brady for the last 2 years, correct? Brady's teams have been better than Belichick's teams, right? So one of the things that I'm asking is, we got 3 things going on from the tree this year competing against each other. So who wins more games? Raiders and McDaniel, Pats and Belichick, Bucks and Brady. And so far, 73% say Bucks and Brady, 26% say Raiders and McDaniel, and the Pats and Belichick have just 1% of the vote. So Belichick is apparently going to fall behind his Padawan and obviously behind Brady and the Bucks, which I would figure that the Bucks and Brady would be number one. But I was interested to see if people think that Josh McDaniels and the Raiders are going to win more than Belichick and the Patriots. And right now, the voting is like clear. Only 1%. You can vote, by the way, there if you want. Go to our Twitter page at Big O Show if you want to vote. But it shows you how I think a lot of people, and as this goes on, if it continues down this trajectory, it will take shine off of Belichick. You could never take away the shine overall because it's 6 titles and 2 more as a defensive coordinator. So there, it's hard to take any shine from it overall, but he's going to lose a little bit. If Brady continues to win, maybe not win a title, but continues to win and get into the playoffs, and Belichick's teams continue to flounder and not do anything, and then McDaniel, if he actually goes out and has success in a really difficult division, by the way, that's going to be one hell of an indictment on Belichick this season. So we shall see. We shall see. I don't want to see Tua throwing deep. If he becomes deadly in the intermediate throws, he will dominate. That's what Breeze made a living on, and it turned out pretty pretty good for him. A lot of quarterbacks are like that. You hit the deep balls every once in a while. You're not hitting deep balls. The stupid ass misconception that's out there is that some of you idiots make it sound like you're throwing bombs all day long, when you're lucky if it happens once in a game. Maybe 6 or 7 times in a year, you'd be lucky if you have a powerful offense. But it's like people make it sound like, oh, no, it's a requirement. You've got to have the ball in the air 60, 70 yards all the time, because it's such commonplace in the NFL to throw it 60, 70 yards and be connecting all the time downfield. It's so stupid. You don't have a lot of time in the NFL more often than not. So you're going to have to be great in the short and intermediate, because you're going to have to make quick decisions. And guess who's great in the short and intermediate? Guys like Breeze and Montana, guys like Tua. That's what helps you. And then you just got to hit the occasional bomb. And the occasional bomb really is a 35 or a 40-yarder or a 25-yarder or something. It's the receiver making it a 70 and an 80 and a 90-yarder more often than not. It's really not the ball traveling in the air 50, 60 yards. Those are rare, man. Those are few and far between. They don't happen that much. It's really a 25, 30, 35, maybe 40 yards. Maybe. That's a lot. But you got the guy open, boom, you hit him in stride, and he is running. And that's when, the receiver makes it an absolute bomb. All right. What else do we have here? Florida, Wow Printing and Graphics says, I'm not worried about Belichick anymore. This dude is running around that place trying to outsmart himself. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Let's see. Morning, Big O. Not liking the disrespect I'm seeing Heat fans say about Riley. And I don't know what disrespect you're talking about, and I don't, I had fun. Gina, I think her last name is Muscato, I want to say. You could tell she's a terrific person, and she's a Yankee fan. And so and this is not just Gina, I have plenty of friends of mine that are Yankee fans. My dad, rest in peace, was a Yankee fan. Bill, rest in peace, was a Yankee fan, besides being also a Reds and Marlins fan too. But anyways, so I always laugh at like Yankee fans that complain about something. They're worried about this. Like the other day, I was busting Gina's chops because she was like, "Oh, my Yankees aren't scoring runs." I'm like, "Oh, God, you're so worried about your Yankees scoring runs and this and that." And to me, Yankee fans are like spoiled brats. Sport's been around just over 100 years. You got 27 titles. You're winning 1 in every 4 years on average. Shut up. You spend over $200 million. You know what I mean? Just stop it, you whiny bastards. And this is what I would say to Heat fans. Shut up, you whiny bastards. Don't complain about Riley. Okay, Riley's trying. He only has what he has. And he's done a phenomenal job with what he has. Now, it's not Riley when I hear things, well, you hear the writers say, well, if they sign this player, then they're over the luxury tax. But they're not really a champion. But if they want to try to be a champion next year, then they're a repeater. And if the writers are writing that, it's because they're hearing stuff from inside the building that they're complaining about the tax. That's what you can complain about. I don't want to hear a billionaire crying poor. Don't own the team, bro. That's all. If you're going to act like Bruce Sherman, pay the damn tax, dude. You got plenty of cash. Who gives a shit if you got to make a Miles Turner move and it puts you over the top? So it's not a Riley thing. And I hear too much of this luxury tax bullshit. When you're a billionaire, I don't want to hear about your luxury tax, dude. Pay it. Look what Golden State's doing, right? I mean, do you want to win championships or not? Pay it. But Riley, complaining about Riley, you're a spoiled brat. That's all. Riley is, he's awesome, dude. He's not perfect because nobody is. Everybody's going to make mistakes. But I'll take Riley every day of the week and twice on Sundays, like I always say. Every day. I'll take the good and I'll take a little bit of the bad that comes with it because it comes with everybody. But the ride with Riley has been way better than any of the negativity that we've gotten from it. The only knock that I would ever have of the Heat lately is I don't want to hear about luxury tax. That's it. That's the only knock I have on the Heat, and that's not a Riley thing. That's an Arison thing. Okay? Don't cry poor to me, man. I don't want to hear billionaires tell me about tax and this and that, and and listen, I have the balls to say what most people aren't gonna say. Okay, Mickey Arison can pay a lot of tax in the NBA. He avoids a ton of it with his ships. Are we clear on that? Are we good on that? Do we understand ourselves? Do we understand English? Okay, don't cry poor to me. I never, ever will complain about Riley. I can disagree with something he can do. Like I didn't want him to re-sign Whiteside. Okay? I'm not a fan of the Lowry deal. I can disagree with him, but I don't want to ever complain about Riley and say anything's better. Nothing's better than Riley. It's a blessing to have him here. But what I will say is I don't want to hear luxury tax. I never want to hear that word with the Miami Heat while Mickey Arison is the owner. Billionaires are not allowed to cry poor. That's what this game is all about. When it comes to sports, you want to own a football team internationally, you better be ready to spend money. You want to own an NFL team, you better be ready to spend money. You want to own an NBA team, be ready to spend money. Look at what the Golden State Warriors are doing. They're paying taxes up the ass. How are you going to compete with them? Well, you better pay taxes. All right, let's switch gears. Cameron Wolf and our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins, an NFL report where we won't be talking poor. That's next.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. And Carlos Segarro, every cruise line may do it, but every cruise line doesn't own the Heat. All right, let's go. Cam, how you doing, baby? I don't hear Steve Ross cry poor, because it does frost my ass. It does frost my ass when I hear the Heat, and then but if they go over and they trade for Miles Turner, then they're a luxury tax team, and then if they want to really make a big move next year, they will be a repeater tax. And I sit there and say, so what?
Right.
So what?
You know who's willing to play the tax? The 76ers are willing to play the tax.
And the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you gave the Knicks a chance to acquire 2 or 3 stars and they had to pay the tax, James Dolan's ugly, sorry, terrible music playing ass would easily pay the tax. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you're dealing with, right? This is what you're competing with. Golden State is paying, I mean, repeater tax after repeater tax after they're paying so much tax. They make the Sixers tax look like it's nothing. Like it's you and me buying $1 Coke at the store and paying 6.5 cents. The Warriors are paying some serious tax. And why? They want to keep winning, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you want to play this game? Hey, on the international soccer level, do you follow international soccer?
Not much.
I mean,
no.
Well, but you know that if you own one of those teams, get ready to spend a lot of money if you want to compete, right?
You're going to have to spend 30-40 million on a transfer fee, and even more to buy
the salary.
Player salary. So it's a whole ordeal, right? Yeah. I'm familiar with that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to buy Manchester United? Well, get ready, baby. You're going to spend a lot of money to run Manchester United because your fan base around the world is going to have a demand. You know, so I just that to me, because when somebody says, "Oh, they're picking on Riley now," man, you don't pick on Riley, bro. Riley's fine. Riley does his job. It's the other stuff sometimes that gets in the way. All right, let's get into a little Dolphins talk. First of all, any surprise overall for you right now of somebody that is on the roster or somebody that isn't on the roster, just out of curiosity after everything that's been done?
I don't think there's any huge surprises, honestly. I thought they were going to get rid of Ethan Carter, the other tight end, but he's a good special teams player. 5 tight ends is a lot of tight ends to keep. I mean, it's a lot of tight ends for a team that wants to run 3 receivers, and you paid Cedric Wilson, you paid Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle. You're going to be in 3 wide receiver set 75% of the time, and so
yes. Did you notice who backs up Alec Ingold?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah, you need your fullback.
You can't carry 2 fullbacks, right? And this is what I talked about for weeks now. The stupid shit they did last year, that they had so many players that could not be two-way players and cannot help you in other areas. That shit could not happen. If you're going to keep Skyler now, you must have players that are two-way. So nobody in their right mind keeps 2 fullbacks. Yeah. So something happens to Alec Ingold, somebody's got to step in. And so I said that maybe the draft pick from the year before from Boston College, they start using him at that. Look out for that. Well, guess who it ended up being? It ended up becoming Ethan Carter. And in the last game, when I saw him come in right after Alec Ingold, and he got that key block that sprung Michelle into the touchdown, I said, this is the guy that made the team, guaranteed. I told everybody that night he made the team because he showed that he was the backup fullback, and because McDaniel, he values the fullback. He has to have a backup just in case in a pinch, and Ethan is going to have to know the system. So he helps you on special teams. He's actually a decent tight end, and he's your backup fullback. The dude is actually very valuable, and he's super cheap, which is. Think about that. That's the kind of player Mickey Harrison would like. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? I'm sorry.
That's good.
I'm sorry.
That's
Go
good.
Ahead.
I get it. I just think the whole idea, like I said, of and I think a part of it, you want to keep Tanner Connor, who had a really good camp. I don't know if he would have got claimed. I think he might have got through waivers, but I guess they weren't trying to risk it. I just don't know that that would have been the roster allocation that I would have used, especially when you have issues at corner. And that's probably my other thing on the roster. Byron Jones going to PUP. The Dolphins seem to be okay with their corner depth. Chris Greer saying we're fine.
Zero panic, bro.
And I don't know. And maybe they see something I don't see, but I'm worried. I'm panicking. So, I just don't see that you're cool with the first 4 weeks just rolling with Keon Crossan or Noah Igbenogany or Kadir Kahui as your other corner when you go in 3 receiver, 3 corner set. So and Justin Bethel, who they just signed, is a core special teams guy. He's not going to play defense for you. So I just don't – that was the other element that confused me. I thought they would – one, I was surprised that they slow played the Byron thing as far as optimistic all camp. I think we did the show right before that decision, and I was like, they've given us every element of optimism that he's going to be off the PUP, and then he gets placed there. And so I asked Chris and Mike after, was there any changes? And they're like, no, we're just being patient. We're giving him his time, which is fine, but you feel like you would have done more work in getting another corner to replace him for the first 4 weeks if that was the case. I mean, that's just my thought. I mean, they're playing the Patriots, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Bengals in the first 4 weeks. Like, those are no slouch teams.
Well, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the first two. The Patriots have no receivers, and Devontae will get sealed off by X, so I'm not worried about that. And last time I checked, Lamar Jackson still can't beat cover zero. You don't figure that out in the offseason. I'm sorry. So
that is true,
I'm not concerned at all about that game with the Baltimore Ravens anymore.
Well,
the Ravens have been figured out. You play cover zero and force him to beat you with his arm, and he'll never beat you with his arm. So it's the next two. It's the next two that I would worry about with Byron, the best receiving core in the NFL in Cincinnati, and obviously the Bills. Now the Bills have their own problems in the secondary.
Right.
So Tua and company may be able to take advantage while Josh is taking advantage of our secondary. Tua should be able to take advantage of their secondary.
So here's what I would say. Yeah, obviously the last two games they're gonna be really tested, but the first two games I would be very careful because although Mac Jones and the Patriots offense are not gonna slice and dice you in the air, and although Lamar has had trouble with the Dolphins defense, particularly last year, I still think, particularly with the Ravens, that's a team that's gonna compete for a playoff spot. And even if they're not slicing and dicing you in the air, they can beat you in other areas, and that defense is really stout. And so being one down on corner, that might be a difference on a play, a play or two that they're going down the field. And, I just think this is a team that they've done it the last couple of years, but I just don't know if they can afford to go into a 1-3 hole in their first 4 games. And this year, just given how deep the AFC is. So I just think that this is a very important first 4 games to just kind of say, hey, we'll see what the young guys do.
I agree. I just have confidence that they're going to win the Patriot game and they're going to win the Baltimore game. I just think it's one of those things that I think they kind of figured out what they had to do with Lamar. Stack that box and play cover zero and force him to be perfect with his arm, and that's not his strength. That's never been his strength. So that's where, to me, that kind of changes. So we'll see what happens there. Your thoughts on Tua being named captain after? Well, actually, if we look at it, let's just not just Tua part A, part B of that question. Tua, Holland, Tyreek, X, and Landon, Armstead, Connor are your captains. Flo chose last year Landon Roberts, Jesse, Double Agent 77, Clayton Fedulum, Mac Hollins, and Jason McCourty. There's like a huge difference of what went on as captains here and as captains there. What does Cameron Wolf read into that? Because I'm going to tell you what I read into that. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's 2 things. One, on the overall captaincy, I think that it's very good for teams when their best or most important players are your captains. Like you just mentioned before, you mentioned guys like Clayton Fedulum and Matt Collins and Jesse Davis and Jason McCourty. No offense to those dudes, but they were not very important into the long-term future of the Dolphins last year. They were maybe the most vocal dudes, but they were not the most important, the most impactful, the best players. And so when your best players, your highest paid players, your most talked about players on TV are also your leaders, I think that's a great example of what you want in a team building. So that's the first thing. And on another note on that, 6 of the 7 guys that are captains this year are also first-time captains for the Dolphins. And so you're resetting your leadership there. Guys like, Teron Armstead and Tyreek Hill, your 2 biggest free agents signings. Tyreek's trade, but essentially free agent as well. Those are the guys who are getting paid. They're also captains. And so I think it's very important for the locker room. Guys pay attention to who gets paid. The guys get paid or who they think the culture of the team is. And so for those guys to get voted the captain, that says a great deal about where they have established the leadership of their team early on. Now, the other element, one more element on the team aspect, Javon Holland being a second-year safety, getting 22 years old, getting captaincy. We've talked a lot about Javon Holland, but clearly his teammates think as highly of him as I do, as a lot of people do, as far as him being a potential Pro Bowl player. So those are probably the overall team views. Now, specifically for Tua, I talked about this on TV yesterday, and people were asking me, why is it important for the, quarterbacks are supposed to be the captain. Why are you making a big deal out of this? Well, I'm making a big deal out of it because it was made a big deal last year when he wasn't. And I think that it's important that clearly his teammates, whether last year was because he didn't want to be or because they didn't vote him, like, I don't really care about the innuendos, but to me, I think it's important that all the change that we talked about with him, as far as his personality, as far as his confidence, as far as how the head coach and the team are supporting him, as far as how the team believes in him, all that has transferred into him becoming the resounding vote winner of that captaincy, like the guy who got the number one amount of votes. And so I think McDaniel obviously was intentional and letting us know that nugget, but I think it also tells you that these guys believe in Tua. Like, there's been a lot of questions, whether it's leaks from the locker room or whether it's people outside of the building saying, hey, do these guys really believe in Tua? Well, that vote to me confirms that, yes, we believe in him not only on the field, but we believe in him to speak on our behalf and be the leader of our offense, of our team.
And listen, I agree with you on having your best players as leaders, but to Armstead and Hill's credit, those guys have assumed that leadership responsibility from the second they walked in there, and so they have earned it also in a short time, not just because of their status, not because of their resume, but they have come in and understand that they also must lead, not just perform. So to their credit and to Mike's understanding, I got to make them leaders. Now, here's to me what stands out.
Can I interject really quickly on that point? So I think what's super interesting there is, Teron Armstead has been a captain 4 or 5 times in New Orleans. Kansas City didn't have direct captains, but they would kind of rotate them. But I didn't know what Tyreek Hill was as a captain when he first got here. I knew he was an explosive player, but I did not know that he was a leader, that he would be a guy that people followed. I thought he was, Tyreek Hill does Tyreek Hill, and the rest is the rest. And so I have been impressed in seeing how he's taking young dudes like Jalen Waddle under his shoulders, under his wing, even propping up Tua the way he has. That's leadership, and that's something that I don't know a lot of people thought about Tyreek Hill before he got here.
All right, and then this is what stands out to me most of all when I saw the captains yesterday. When you see it's a Landon Roberts, Jesse Davis, Fengelum, Hollins, and McCourty, and then you look at Tua, Holland, Tyreek, and Xavier, and Landon Roberts, Armstead, and Connor, what he ended up getting, he didn't want guys that were going to challenge his authority. McDaniel got guys that are going to challenge his authority because they're going to be real leaders, actually, and they're going to actually communicate, and it shows that Flo probably wanted more guys that would be more what would we call it, conduits to his
yes men
kind of not necessarily yes men, because I don't think Landon Roberts is necessarily a yes man, but
no, not at all.
Exactly, but I do think that he's but I do think that they're the kind of guys that the guys that he had for him would relay that message for him and move forward. Whereas I think now a Teron Armstead can go to Mike McDaniel, say, no, coach, we need to do this or that. And then he's willing to listen and willing to communicate with his team. And I think that was important, that McDaniel has been very, very honest and very, what's the word that I'm looking for? He's
transparent.
He's he's been very transparent. And the only way you can be transparent is by that you're willing to listen to what the negativity, the opposite point of view, all those kind of things. The group that Flo picked last year wasn't really going to challenge his authority a lot.
Well, I will say this. I think first of all, I think it's Christian Wilkins is the last one. I think you mentioned Connor. I don't think Connor got.
No, that's right. I'm sorry, Christian Wilkins,
yeah.
not Connor. I don't know why I said
but the other element, I would say, I think that they were still player voted last year. So I don't think Flo picked them last year. I think it was player voted, but overall, I think that the guys tell you who their staple is, and I think last year there was a lot more uncertainty about Tua, given that from the start of the season there was the Deshaun Watson stuff. So, whether conscious or unconscious, there's probably guys in the locker room who are wondering, because of the lack of clear message from Flo and from the rest of the guys, is Tua going to be our quarterback by middle of the season? Are you guys going to trade for Deshaun Watson? Are you guys going to do that? And so now it seems like there's more certainty. There's more straightforward with this is our team and going forward. And so I think that there was a lack of leadership in previous years because of the uncertainty. Like Landon Roberts has been the leader of the defense since he's got here. He has been the one leader, really. But on the offensive side, like you mentioned, Jesse Davis was sort of the leader by default because there was no other guy that was sort of stepping up on the O-line. And you have to have a captain that's the O-line. Now, Teron Armstead, he's a leader through choice. Like, he seeks out that. That's his, he thrives in that element. Like, you should hear the young players rave about him.
Well, he's a star. He's
like,
the star of that group.
Yeah, they circle him. They love him probably more than they would love, Tua, to be honest. It's because of the wisdom that he imparts upon them. And he's just kind of like
he's got a killer personality.
He does. He's a cool dude. You
can tell. Right. You can tell he's cool. Exactly.
Right,
that's the word.
Right. So that's why I think it's such a boost for them to have additional leaders. Like Orlando is not the only guy anymore that can stand up and say, "Here it is." On the defense side of the ball, now you have Javon, who's growing into his own as a vocal leader.
Yeah.
And Xavier, a first-time captain, was actually was interesting to me. It surprised me because, as you know, Xavier's the opposite.
Why?
Xavier is not vocal, but I think that it's very important that guys are telling you that they follow him.
But I'm wondering. I talked about this before. Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. No, it was yesterday when they named him. I'm wondering if X is doing more behind the scenes than what we realize.
No, he is. I've heard from players who say that X is a great leader. He's a great leader, and he's a motivator, but he does it his own way. I was actually in the locker room talking to Javon Holland about this yesterday, and he was like, X does X on the field. Like, X is like, not that like a freelance way, but like X, you don't have to worry about him. He's going to lock down his side of the field. He's not necessarily communicating like, hey, you do that, telling you what you need to do, but he'll handle his deal. But off the field, he'll pull guys aside. He said he never big times young dudes. If you tell him something, he's the type of guy you want. So he never changes his personality. Like, if you know X, he's not a talker. He's not a talker at all unless it comes to respect. If he's talking about respect, he will talk. But otherwise, he's not going to talk much. But he is a leader for that team, and I think it was cool for him to have that be captaincy because that tells you behind the scenes what guys see. Maybe that because if we were picking 6 captains, I don't think we would have chosen X because of what we see in the public. Right. But they are choosing their captains for them. And so that's why I think that's important.
Yeah, that tells me he must be doing something behind the scenes. There you go.
Yep.
All right, good stuff as always, my brother. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and we will catch up next week in the KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. See you, Big O.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All righty. Hey, Nature B is for me. Don't forget, baby, you can buy 2 months. You get the 3rd month for free. And use our code Big O. You will buy 2 months. You get the 3rd month for free and free shipping. 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals, and powerful antioxidants. And listen, all you got to do is go to the website, natureb.com. You'll get fuller hair, stronger nails. It helps with digestion, helps with those creaky bones a little bit too. You'll feel the energy. You won't have that downtime at 2, 3, 4 o'clock where you're running out of gas. Nature Bee will power you through. And my favorite thing, and why I mainly use it for 20 years, what I love how it's helped me boost my immune system. I rarely have a cold. And doing radio and doing a talk show every single day, you need your voice, man. And when you have a cold, it is brutal to do it. So I love it for that. In a virus-filled world, this is just another layer of protection, baby. Go to naturebee.com. It comes straight from clean green New Zealand, right from Mother Earth. It is all natural plant pollen. So it's great for adults. It's great for the kids. naturebee.com. Use our code Big O. Buy 2 months, get the third month for free and free shipping. Let's start off hour number 3 with Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InnerMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Hey, let's do it. Let's get ready. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling great, man. Can't wait to get this thing rolling tomorrow.
All right, I got to get you a Big O shirt because you're
you
wearing
do,
the
brother.
Stuff. I got to get you some Big O shirt, man. If you're going to sport that stuff there. Anyway, listen, I got to ask you something because, stuff is said, stuff is not really reported, but rumored and message boards and all those kind of things.
Right.
There is some stuff being talked about that and Ruiz's relationship when the talk of Tropical Park apparently has pissed off the people at Hard Rock Stadium. And that maybe even the Hard Rock brass may have reached out to the Life Wallet brass. Can you confirm any of that being true, or is it all absolute lies, or are we in the gray area right now with some of that?
Well, I reached out to somebody at Miami who would know everything about this. And I sent them a screenshot of these rumors, these message board rumors. And the response I got 10 minutes later was not true. And I guess ultimately the rumor is that it would affect Miami for their last home game this year, that supposedly the Dolphins are upset about this, yada, yada, yada. Whether or not the Dolphins are upset with Ruiz is a different story. I don't have any intel on that. But as far as it affecting Miami and their relationship, I know this. I know Miami has gone out of its way. Dan Radakovich has gone out of its way. I know Rudy Fernandez has gone out of his way to say positive things about the contract that they have with the Dolphins and the fact that they like playing there. Yeah. I mean, there's been no from Miami's angle, from an actionable angle, that where it could affect the Hurricanes. I don't think anything is happening there. Whether or not they're upset with Ruiz is a different story. So,
and you don't know if there ever was that conversation between Life Wallet and Hard Rock.
I mean, I know this. I know Ruiz has said multiple times that he wants to buy the Dolphins. He wants to buy the Marlins. He wants to have a stadium. I mean, he said a lot. Oh, he said a lot of different things. And could I sit here and tell you, do I know that the Dolphins have called him? I haven't asked him. I haven't honestly texted Ruiz in probably a couple of months now, just because it's kind of been, football season. It's kind of been like an irrelevant backstory to me in all of this. So I know the rumor going around is that, his meddling and saying he wants to buy a stadium is going to cause problems for Miami and this and that. I asked the highest person I could ask at the University of Miami about it, and their response was just not true. So
because it's hard for them to play the middle game. They can't say, well, we're excited about Ruiz and him, doing anything he can to help the program, but then we're also happy to play at Hard Rock Stadium. Well, you've got a lease there for what, another 10 years, right? Something like that. Is there, right?
Yeah. I mean, it runs through 2032. I mean, that's the bottom line is they're under contract for that.
Right. So, and I'd love to know if there's such thing as tampering in that contract, because I'd
have to see the contract to be able to tell you that. I don't think anybody has.
The second he starts putting shovel in the ground, it's tampering.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, certainly when actions actually happen, but nothing's happening. It's just all nothing.
But that's my point, that maybe there is some teeth to this story, because if it goes from myth to actual life to actual reality, then a tenant is needed. We're not doing the St. Pete thing again, right? Where they built it for the White Sox. The White Sox never came,
right.
And it was a white elephant for I don't know how long, until the Devil Rays came to town eventually. I forgot how long that was a white elephant, but that's why that stadium is so bad and so antiquated, because it was built for the White Sox a long time ago, actually, not for the Devil Rays.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of tentacles to this. Oh, I think being a smart person sitting back and watching all this, the University of Miami needs John Ruiz because of his NIL money, right? They need him. That's what matters right now, is getting him to keep players here and happy. The stadium is his endeavor. It's what he wants, right? He wants to build that stadium. He sees this as a way to invest his money into something that is going to last forever, and it's going to be used forever. It's a forever home, right? That's the word that Radakovich used for the football facilities. Well, this would be a forever home,
right?
So there's obviously interest in his part to do all this, but that's why every time I've come on here and you've asked me about Ruiz, I've been very careful to talk about it, because I know the university feels a certain way, in the sense of they need him, so they can't push him away and just say, hey, forget it, stop talking about the stadium. Because if he can build it for them, it's resourceful. But the reality is, I also know that the people at the stadium, I mean, at UM, like the fact that they're at Hard Rock. Like, they see that as, this is the central location, the easiest way to get our entire fan base. The reality is, if you were to put every one of these people at the University of Miami under oath and have them speak honestly, they would tell you, building a stadium near campus, if it's not going to be on campus because there's no room for it,
no, of course not.
Building it a little closer does nothing, because
only my boy Danny Cannell thought you could build one on campus. I heard him say that like a year and a half ago or two. Well, what really UM needs is to build it on campus, because their students need to go. And it's like, well, wait a minute,
right.
their student base is super small, Danny, and it's called Coral Gables. They're not going to allow you to build 50,000 seat there. And can you imagine parking? Did you see what happened with the basketball arena? I've heard stuff like that is so ridiculous. And you know what? And I like Danny. Danny's a great dude. But sometimes, like that stuff that he said, it was like, dude, you live here, right? Didn't your dad work at? Have you gone to that campus? Have you been on there? Like, where's there even space to build a stadium? You know what I mean? In Coral Gables,
it's just people talking out of their ass. So that's the problem.
And that's what Cannell was doing. He was talking out of his ass. But here's the other thing that is kind of, in a way, we're all talking out of our ass. We got to stop with the student shit, because that base is so small that you can build whatever stadium you want. They're not going to be a big part of it, like in Michigan or Ohio State or FSU or any of these places that are college towns. That's the main place to go to and all that kind of stuff. That's not going to happen here. And your student base is so small. Half those people aren't even from this country. You're building the stadium for the fan base. And that's what you were saying. And that's what probably UM is saying behind the background. We need Hard Rock better because it's more centralized. It's a big-ass stadium. It's easy to get to from all over the place. And it's not like we have this ginormous student fan base that is dying to go to games or anything. Get the hell out of here, please.
That's why this is a very delicate balance, right? That's why Miami likes the situation it's in with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they also like Ruiz's money, right? They also like the fact that he's helping the program out, and he's got his interest in all this, and Miami has their interest, and so it's a balancing act, and that's why I have to choose my words carefully when I talk about this stuff, because it's one thing for anybody to go on a message board and say something. Manny Navarro or Susan Miller-Degnan or Barry Jackson says it, then we're quoted and it's put it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you have bosses to answer to also, and you gotta, of course. Please,
I'll just say this about the whole stadium thing. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I think they will finish their lease at Hard Rock Stadium, and unless there's some new expressways built and some new easier ways to get and a bunch of parking available, I don't see Tropical Park happening.
Yeah, no, and 10 years from now, there'll be less land available, less situations available for all of that. So it doesn't make any sense. Hard Rock is actually just fine. You know what? If Ruiz wants to do something really nice, dude, build a brand new UM Hall of Fame. Do that.
That would be nice. Somebody was texting me last night, Steve Gorton, who worked for the Sun Sentinel for many, many years as a writer. Steve covered the Hurricanes. And he said, I would love to see, because he was watching the Pittsburgh West Virginia game last night. He said, man, isn't that how cool how the stadium, it feels like it's both college and pro, right? Like the whole, just the colors of the seats. He said, you go to Hard Rock now, they've got pictures up of the Gators and the Seminoles playing in the Orange Bowl. And, would that fly in Tallahassee and Gainesville if all of a sudden you had hurricane stuff? Hell no.
No, I know.
So why not build a Hall of Fame museum type thing at Hard Rock for the Canes? That'd be great.
I think that would be fantastic. They could do something like that. That's a place that you could probably, you can hold you can probably have like a separate press conference area where you can hold all the press conferences there and everything. It could be kind of a UM place, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I mean, because when you induct them into the hall and all that, you can have your ceremonies there and all that. That's what I think they should do. There's such a rich history, and not just football I'm talking about, okay? We've got basketball, we've got baseball, we've got tennis, we've got diving, golf. There's all kinds of great UM athletes over the history of time, and a really cool UM Hall of Fame, I think, would be something that if Ruiz wants to do something, that would be actually something really, really cool, because you give the kid a tour of the stadium and then you say, okay, and when your career's done, if you're one of the great ones, you'll be inducted here, and you give them a tour of the hall. And, I think that would be actually pretty freaking cool. Plus, you can charge, because Canes fans will want to go, and go check out the hall and that kind of stuff. I think it'll become a thing if you can do something like that, but whatever. That's just me. Hey, listen, at least they're going to complete that damn facility from 70 yards to the 100, which right? Jesus Christ.
They do need 100% need a football facility upgrade all around. They need to be able to, if you're going to have these recruits come on campus, look, they've done it already with the dorms. They've upgraded the freshman dorms. They look spectacular. You got to keep up with the Joneses in today's world. And so to me, that's the priority. Radakovich and the administration have the right perspective. They got to go out and raise hundreds of millions of dollars now so they can do everything they want to do on campus to upgrade the facilities. The stadium is fine. What they've got to do a better job of, marketing. Get the home fans to feel a connection to the team. Yes, they haven't been very good. They've averaged fewer than 8 wins in the last 19 seasons. We know that. But let's do something where you make the players closer to the fan base, make more of an emotional connection to these kids. I know they have the little pregame walk, hurricane walk, and that's going to continue under Mario, but I don't know, party buses, something to bring people down to that stadium. And like you said, it's not going to be the students.
Winning, bro.
Get the
Winning.
city involved somehow. I don't know how, but
gotta win, bro. You gotta win.
That's going to be number one. But I would say
that's what will create that opportunity for you to bring buzz and bring people on board. You have to convince them that you're really back. Hey, look, ticket sales are way up, so people are already believing that Mario will head them in the right direction, like most of us do. I think Mario's going to lead them in the right direction now. There's no doubt about it. He's a quality dude, so you expect this team, to head in the right direction. But ultimately, dude, winning is what's going to bring that love, that craziness back. The Dolphins, the same thing. It's all about those W's. That's it. They've got to prove. I'm not saying beat Texas A&M, but you got to have a season where you end up in the ACC championship game.
Yeah,
really.
I think that's a possibility this year, and they have the team to do it. I think Pittsburgh showed us last night. There's some chinks in the armor there.
Yeah, and now let me ask you. This is what I said, because you're not really going to get a great measurement overall with Southern Miss and Bethune-Cookman this week, right? So the first 2 weeks are kind of whatever. But what I do want to see is I want to see organization. I want to see that they know what the hell they're doing out there. I don't want to see a bunch of penalties. I don't want to see a bunch of mistakes. I don't want to see a bunch of turnovers. I don't want to see that you won just because you're more talented. I want to see that you won because you were able to dismantle them, because you looked organized, because you're playing well. And if it happens to be a tight game, I don't want to see somebody standing on the sidelines dancing and celebrating. And if you happen to win an ugly game against a poor opponent, I don't want you to act like you just beat Ohio State. So in other words, I want to see it's not professionalism, but I want to see profession
act like a big boy.
Bottom. That's what I want to see.
Act like a big boy. That's what they have to do. I think, from a on-field perspective, you can certainly look at penalties. That was a problem under Manny Diaz, right? Sloppy, stupid penalties. If Mario's got them a little bit more in control in that regard, that would be good. Obviously running the football, stopping the run, tackling, very fundamental things that I think showed up even against lesser opponents last year, right? Where they were missing tackles badly when they were not able to run the football even against average defenses, like Georgia Tech, for instance, right, where they had to struggle to win that game. So to me, fundamentally, like you said, do your job and execute at a high level in that respect. It's not going to matter what the final score is. Like, I don't think Mario's going to run it up on any of these teams. He's just not that kind of guy. I think he's going to run the ball a lot. So you're going to see running clock. You may not see 70 points, but you may see 45 or 42 or whatever.
Take the points. Take the points is what you're saying. Okay. All right. We got it. Manny Navarro says take the points.
Yeah. So, I agree with you. I think, these first two games, more than anything, I'm going to be looking at player rotations, like who's getting the heavy minutes, who's starting out, who are they sort of relying upon when the game is still close in the first quarter or two. And then, see how those guys perform, see how, a guy like Malik Curtis, who's, is going into his second year, didn't play at all last year. And yet all we hear about is how great he is in camp. I want to see DJ Ivey, who is now in his fifth year there, has gone from being a starter to losing his starting job to getting it back. And now everybody's, DJ Ivey's doing great. Well, let's see what coaching does. Let's see how much better he is with better coaching. Those are the kind of things I'll look for the first two games. And, do the players who have let Miami down in the past, are they better? If they are, then you can say, well, maybe the coaching really is going to make a difference here. And it's not just, what's between the ears with some of these guys.
All right. So give me a guess, because you can't tell me that it's going to be a fact. So who's the two receivers that Van Dyke can count on for sure?
I think Keyshawn Smith and Xavier Howard will be the two guys that see the most targets and have the ball thrown the way the most and kind of are most involved. I think Will Mallory, obviously tight end, it will be a security blanket. Him and Arroyo and the running backs will catch a lot of passes this year. But I think if I had to put $100 down on the two leading receivers and targets and catches, I would say Keyshawn and Xavier. And then, that third guy is kind of the mystery.
Who's the wild card?
Yeah, I would say the wild card could be Brashard Smith, the other slot receiver, because he's a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. Did it a couple times last year, flashed, on some wheel routes. I could see them using him. He to me, the little bit that we got to watch at practice, I was most impressed with him because I saw a different kind of player than I did a year ago. It looked like he took a step forward in his progression in terms of just doing the routine and making it look routine. Whereas other guys were still dropping balls. They were still getting yelled at for footwork. He was not in that group. He was doing his job. So I would say he's the wild card.
There you go. All right, what are you working on the Athletic? Getting ready, getting the folks ready for Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a fan story here. Kind of the excitement level and what's going on with the Mario era. By the way, little factoid: Miami hasn't had more than 50,000 fans in attendance for a game since 2019. I know they distributed more than 50,000 tickets for this game, so it's been a couple years since there's been a big crowd at that stadium. Obviously, COVID had something to do with that in 2020, but last year. That horrible start had a lot more to do with why that place was empty, and so I'll have a little thing on fans. But there's a lot of stuff on the website now that's been written this week. I just did an ACC mailbag with Andy Bitter where we talked about the conference, who's on the hot seat, who's legitimately on the hot seat, what expectations for all the first year coaches, ton of stuff. I have recruiting stuff on there. I mean, there's a lot of content available to read.
All right, and follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and make sure you subscribe to The Athletic because he's always loading that thing up with stories. Manny, as always, and breaking stories. I appreciate you. Thank you for the insight. We'll catch up next week. Have a great weekend.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro. And don't forget, $99 and over. When you order at Caneswear, you will get free shipping. And the new Adidas that they have, I got to get me a pair. Those are nice. That's your Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. Yes, sir. Let's talk a little bit about Babbel, the language learning app that has sold more than 10 million subscriptions, and it's addictively fun and really easy, a great way to learn a new language. And whether you're traveling abroad or maybe maybe if you're living here in South Florida or maybe you're living over in Southern California, and you want to get to know some of the Latin ladies out there, you want to connect in a deeper way, maybe with family also. If you have some free time, Babbel will teach you bite-sized language lessons that you can actually learn and use in the real world, okay? Dame un lápiz. No, you're not really going to use that. So why the hell are you going to learn and give me a pencil? We don't even use pencils. Relax. Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. So you can actually learn stuff that you're going to use while you're walking, while you're jogging, while you're at the gym, while you're relaxing, getting some sun, whatever it is you're doing, while you're driving to work, driving back. Other language learning apps, they use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel's lesson plans were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching methods have been scientifically proven to be effective. And with Babbel, folks, you can choose up to 14 different languages, including Espanol, French, Italian, German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and your accent. That way, when you go to France, You sound, like you belong, baby. That's what it's all about. There's so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition, lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. That's a great way of learning so you can adjust to different things. And plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. So you get 20 days to try it out. You'll see the progress you'll make. You'll keep it. You'll love it. Start your new language journey today with Babbel. Save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to Babbel.com/Big O. That's Babbel.com/Big O for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. All right. Let's see. Nerdsworth. What 5-star recruit would you want to play for the Kings? 30,000 attendance isn't a motivator. It's hard to compete with UF, FSU, USF, UCF packed their stadiums. I guess Nerdsworth, you must be 25 years old or something like that. Brother, you get the recruits, you win, you pack the stadium. Yeah, you can not only, and by the way, what is FSU doing? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. What are they winning? What's USF winning? And what's UCF winning? Nerdsworth. I'm sorry, I must have missed that. What's all the success they're having? Because those programs aren't anything, no matter what advantage they have. Do you know why? You by making a weak ass statement right there, Nerdsworth. Okay, you just answered your own question. It's about recruiting and winning, dude. Period. End of story. Miami can recruit, can beat and handle Alabama. But you got to go get the players. You got to improve the coaching. And that's it. All they want to do is win. Miami was winning with no facilities. Now they actually are going to have facilities, and they're going to have support, and they got a beautiful stadium that they play in. It's about winning, dude. Please. So that statement there means nothing whatsoever. Mario recruits the players, he coaches them up, and he wins. Fine. And he's already Miami's already ahead of FSU. They're already ahead of USF. What the hell is USF? God. Yeah, USF ain't packing Raymond James. It's like, yeah, no, that's just a ridiculous statement, dude. Big O going to keep it real. All right. Well, I mean, it's not a matter of keeping it real. It's just, do you guys sometimes, we have too many people in this world that don't want to hear the truth because they can't handle the truth. So they want to live in a lie. They want to live in this altered reality. And then they create these narratives that, and that's been the problem. And that's what this guy creates some kind of reality that doesn't exist. Like right now, FSU, USF, and UCF are like light years ahead of Miami. They're nothing. They're nothing programs right now. What, UCF had their moment in the sun a few years ago, and it was over. That's it. They're done. They're not going anywhere unless they get better players and a better coach. Outside of that, I don't see them going anywhere. And to mention FSU and USF, come on, man. I mean, Jesus. It's sometimes some of you out there, again, try to think about what you're writing before you hit send. Think about it and go, yeah, no, this doesn't make any sense. Miami can't catch up to USF. Huh? FSU? Whatever. Anyway, yesterday, apparently, Eric Rowe, Needham, Fendulum. Well, Fendulum now is on the IR. And AVG did not practice. Waddle and Ingold had a little bit of limited stuff. So we'll see. Waddle should be fine for the game. I'm not worried about that. Practice squad, Empey, Barnes, Kalen Barnes, that is, Niles Scott, Coleman, Craycraft, Good, Porter Gustin, Vernon McKinley, Braylon Sanders, Ben Stilley, Zaquandre White. All of them are now on the practice squad. They signed Justin Bethel to the active roster. That's why Fedulum went to the IR. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I like, and I know I was talking with what's it called, Cameron, about this, and we will have Alan Poupar will be joining. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should not get into that right now. Send Poupart there a message that we are ready for him, because I don't want to get into this and then Poupart's gonna chime in there, and we'll get him on. I'll get into this in a minute. Troy, thank you for the congratulations on the 14,000 subscribers. Thank you all. You guys are awesome. Help us get to 25. We need to get to 25, por favor. That's what we need on this show. Let's get to 25 and spread it out. So if you are watching, please subscribe to the show. It would be great. And hit the notification bell. That way you know whenever we are on. I don't think I'm going to do a weekend show. Don't think so. I think I'm going to take this weekend off. Okay. Did an extra show on, what was it, Wednesday, or was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday when we were running around. Did the extra, or Thursday. No, it was Wednesday. It wasn't yesterday because we were at Hialeah Park yesterday. So it was Wednesday. So we did an extra show. I think I'm going to relax tomorrow, but you never know. That's why I say hit the notification bell here and also on Big O Show Cuts, just in case. You never know. Dan B says, good morning, Big O. You are absolutely correct. FSU has no coach. They haven't had a coach since Bobby. USF is nothing. I know, it's just like a ridiculous statement to say, oh, my God, UM is falling behind them. I mean, give me a break. It's a joke. Mario just needs to recruit and coach his ass off. Okay? All right? And he can't lose to Utah twice in a year. That's, you can get by in Oregon with that. You're not going to be able to get by here. So he's got to make sure he doesn't do that. Not that he plays, Utah twice here, but the equivalent. You can't lose to Pittsburgh twice in a year. That's the equivalent. Miami has already done more in an offseason this 1 year than FSU has in the past 4, probably. Eric says, Patriots going with the Cracker Jack vendor at corner versus Tyreek and the soda vendor versus Waddle. Going to be a fun week 1. Oh, yeah. I like Miami against the Patriots, and I like them against Baltimore. I like them big against the Patriots, for sure. Like that, I have so much confidence in that game. The Baltimore game, I have confidence, not the same kind of confidence, but I have confidence because I still think the cover 0 will work against Lamar, because I don't think he's a very good passer. As long as they can control the running game, they will be fine. Big O on the captain's subject. Last year, players had their first, put the name in the options, which tells me that or more productive players didn't want anything to do with flow or that mess. It could also be that your head coach influences who becomes captains. So, example, you're hanging around, you're in training camp, and you're going, all right, well, hey, guys, Jesse Davis is going to tell you how to do this. Always follow his lead, this, that. So you're telling the young guys constantly, lean to Jesse Davis. So then when they vote, they're going to go, well, coach always leans on Jesse Davis. Boom. Matt Collins, right? Matt Collins, obviously a good player. I love Matt Collins, by the way. I wish he would have been here. But anyway, so Matt Collins is a guy that, again, the coach, hey, Max, show him how to do this, that. And so then special teams players gravitate to Max. So your coach can also influence the players on who they vote for, because on a day-to-day basis, in a meeting room, on the practice field, whatever, he can use Jesse Davis and Matt Collins and Fedulum and Roberts and McCourty as his examples. And then the players see the coach leaning on those guys, and then the players then see that. So you could influence it. I don't know if McDaniel was doing the same thing. I don't know if Flo was doing it at all, but there is ways where you can actually, as a coach, influence what goes on the field and who gets decided to be captain. And when you're shitting on Tua constantly, you're not going to vote for him. All right, it is time for our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. It's not the initial one, but it is the initial one, the debut with Alan Poupart. That's next.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
How do you like that? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. What'd you think of that one, huh?
I love that. I might not even be the favorite for some people. Favorite reporter with an Expos hat to some, but
I think you're everybody's favorite reporter with an Expos hat. That's for sure.
I'm not even sure about that, actually.
I don't know of another one. So.
Correct. There are some who prefer nobody to the guy with the Expos hat.
No. I think you just have no competition. I think everybody says I'm not wearing an Expos hat because Poupart set the standard, so I'm done. So that's kind of what is going on here. So I figured you get a kick out of that one.
Love it.
Overall, yes. All right. I was just talking about it. You were there in the warm-up seat there. Your thoughts, first of all, on the captains and the drastic change in the type of players that are captains last year compared to this year overall. So your thoughts on all of that.
And you, my friend, deserve major kudos for making a great point about the coach's influence on that. There are several things that struck me. Obviously, Tua being a captain after not being a captain last year, and the whole circumstances, like the Dolphins are all in with Tua this year, and they obviously were not last year, for Christ's sake. This time last year, where Deshaun Watson's name's out there. So for him not to be a captain, it's kind of understandable last year. And then this year, the Dolphins have been all in on Tua. And as you mentioned, McDaniel has been like singing his praises at every turn. Tyreek, so that he becomes a captain absolutely makes sense. X being a captain was interesting to me because if you know X, and you do know X,
yeah,
he's not a vocal guy.
I know, but this tells me, and we talked about this with Cam, this tells me he must be doing something behind the scenes that we don't know about. That he must be talking to his teammates in a way that he's never has, or something. There has to be something there because
No, but I can definitely see when Sam and Patrick came over, I would highly suggest that they had a talk with him and said, "You're an amazing player and all that. Take it to the next step and become the mentor for those guys because you are the standard." So I think there's definitely something to that. And even X told us in the locker room yesterday, I don't necessarily talk a whole lot. I talk to my guys in the DB room. So I think there's definitely something to that. Javon Holland being a captain the second year. In fact, I asked Mike McDaniel, how impressive. 22 years old, second year, and he's a captain. And it was fun.
Not surprised.
No, and X is telling us in the locker room that Javon Holland's on his case every once in a while. And I told him, like, last year, do you ever feel like turning around and going like, "Yo, little Rook, chill the hell out and, know your plays"? And he told him, he said, he actually pointed to the joint practice against Tampa. There was one time when he wasn't where he was supposed to be, and Holland was on his case, and he turned around like, he was on the verge of saying, "Listen, I don't need to be hearing any crap right now." So,
right.
And then the other thing that struck me, Armstead was a complete slam dunk to me and Tyreek with what he's done as far as taking charge. And if you see him go out there at practice and how much he balls.
Both guys. Armstead, too, is taking charge, too. He
was a captain like four times in New Orleans. He's that kind of guy. And big props for Landon Roberts because, as I pointed out, this is a guy you're talking about. He's not a frontline player. He has signed with the Dolphins 3 different times. It's 1-year contract every time, and he's been selected as a captain every time. So that speaks to the kind of leader this guy is. So,
can I ask you something? Because if we're going to play this game, right? I like to play the game fair, okay? And unfortunately, when it comes to Tua, I see a lot of unfair when the way they treat him. So let me ask you something. What is it if you're picking a Landon Roberts? What's that say about your highest paid linebacker?
Who is our Jerome Baker?
Yeah.
That he's not as respected by his teammates as a leader as a Landon Roberts. I think that's
you should be by now with as many years as you've been in the league. Now you got that big salary. Is that a little bit of a slight on Jerome Baker that he's not considered more the leader of the locker room for the linebackers?
That's a good point. But remember,
if we're gonna be fair about this, right?
No, and I get it's not all about performance. There's the other factor we have to consider. And Baker wasn't a captain last year. He was a captain in 19. No, it was a 19 or 2019, I think it was. And then he stopped being a captain
when there was like 4 people left on the team.
Well, correct, but he was in the second year then, and again, they didn't have that many options as you point out.
Yeah.
No, but no, you raise a good point, but I don't think it's necessarily has to be your best players have to be captains. Because last year, I love Matt Collins as much as you do, and he was a captain on offense. We're not going to say he was the second best player that he and Jesse Davis were the 2 best players on offense.
No, I'd make him easily a captain on special teams.
But he was a captain on offense last year.
I know he was a captain on offense. It's funny.
So it's not just about performance, but the fact that Baker, to me, it's more problematic if the fact that Baker was once a captain and he stopped being a captain.
Right, that's my point. And so if we're going to be fair, you know what I'm saying? It's just by now you would figure Baker would be kind of like one of the guys like Christian Wilkins. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting you to be that guy, and that's a little bit of a shot. We read anything.
One other point, one other point about also part of being a leader is not being afraid of getting in somebody's face, where I think Christian will do that. I'm not 100% sure if that's totally Baker's personality. So I think that may play a part in that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. All right, your thoughts on Justin Bethel? I know everybody loves to use we're going to get the guy to steal information from him and all that kind of stuff, and the Patriots aren't going to get a damn thing from the receiver they got because that guy's never even been a part of game planning with Mike McDaniel, so he's not going to know jack shit anyways. Now, this guy has been around the Patriots, has played with the Patriots, but he's really a special teamer. So I don't really look at this like this some kind of you know what I think when we do this as media and fans, when we do this, we're insulting the shit out of the coach, right? Because we're basically saying, whoa, this coach is so stupid that he needs to go get a player to tell him exactly how to read what they do on offense or defense because he can't figure it out himself. Because there's only so much you can do in a playbook. These coaches are smart enough. They've pretty much seen almost everything in the world, so it's just like, it's so silly that we make it think like these guys that they pick up off the scrap heap are the guys that are going to make the difference in the coaching room. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Friend of mine who's a big Dolphin fan actually DM'd me after the move when Bowden signed with the Patriots and asked me whether there should be any level of concern. And my reply was, it means shit. It doesn't mean anything. No, Bethel's a good signing because Bethel's a good special teams player. And you got Fedulum goes on IR for 4 weeks, and he's every bit the player that Fedulum is, if not better. So it's a good move from that standpoint. He's got zero to do with any intel. And sure as hell can't give him intel on playing defense because Bethel didn't play a single snap on defense the last 2 years.
No, I'm with you there.
Unless my memory fails me because I did look it up, but he doesn't play. He's a special teams guy. Period.
Just out of curiosity, who are you expecting to be the returners?
That's an awesome question.
Okay.
Awesome. Listen, you got me.
I just want to make sure you're just as baffled as I am. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay, here's my expectation.
We have people screaming. We have people, Tyreek and Waddle. What the hell's wrong with you idiots? And no. I want those guys part-time. I want those guys full-time.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering, and then the Kalen Barnes guy that they signed, are they going to be trying him out for the next week or two, week and a half or whatever, and see, do they activate him at one point or another? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but from what I was told from people in Carolina, he can't play. I mean, he's just really fast. So no, let me give you my answer. Since you asked, I got to give you an answer.
He's Ronaldo Nehemiah. Okay.
Noah and Raheem Mostert on kickoff returns.
Okay.
And they're going to rotate Hill, Waddle, and Holland on punt returns, which I don't particularly like, but that's my guess.
Wow, I hate that. I can't stand that. I don't want any of those guys returning unless I desperately need a return, actually. Oh, God. Yeah.
No, but I did tell you last week they were not keeping Bowden, even though he could have served in that role. I did peg that one.
Yeah, no, I failed on that one because I thought he would get ahead of Craycraft for the 6th spot. If they were going to keep a returner, I thought he was the guy that was going to get it because he was, at least he was doing serviceable on the return game. Overall, the only time I really had a problem was a couple weeks ago when he caught one inside the 5, I think it was 6-yard line or whatever. And I was like, oh, come on, kid. But outside of that, I thought he did all right. And I was dead wrong on that one. I thought I thought definitely they would keep him. All right. What are you working on over at Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we ran a story this morning, continuing the countdown. We're up to 6. I love it when we get down to the end and I can,
the selection. Oh, God, Jay Cutler, Ray Lucas, and
Jim Arnold.
Yeah, exactly.
God, forget his name. Jim Arnold, I think. No, Arnold. Was that his first name?
Was he the cook in Happy Days? That guy, Jim Arnold?
That's funny. So no, that was a tough one. We ran a story this morning on looking at the path of Kader Kohou in making the 53-man roster. And then after I hang up with you and have a little lunch, I'm going to do my big Tua season preview.
Okay.
I highly encourage
by the way, somewhere in that story, you got to put that Kader Kohou. He may not have wanted it, but he might be grateful that Trill Williams got injured because that would have been that might have put the Dolphins in a position to make a really tough decision, because if Kader is like Trill, is like Nick Needham, that they like him that much, they would have had to try to release him and try to sneak him onto the practice squad because Trill Williams would have taken that spot. So it would have been very interesting what would have happened if Trill would have still been healthy. What would they have done with Kader at that point?
Well, no, my man Dante did mention the injury to Trill Williams.
He did? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
My man Dante is this thorough. But again, I'm doing a big Tua expose, looking at a whole bunch of different angles heading into the season that I encourage. And I'm going to do a mailbag this weekend. So for folks, look at the Twitter handle over there. Hit me up with some questions.
Fill up his bag. That's what he's saying. Fill up the bag, baby, the mailbag, and alldolphins.com. So go bookmark it. You're not really a Dolphin fan unless you bookmark alldolphins.com and follow Sports Illustrated Alan Poupar in his debut in the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Alan, thank you, my brother. Have a great weekend. Appreciate you. We'll get ready for game week next week.
Looking forward to it. It's fun. Let's get it on.
Man. There you go. Alan Poupar and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And listen, custom home construction, I'm not talking about some handyman. You call Eric at EJD Construction, fully insured, liability and all. Please do not hire someone that is not fully insured going into your home. They get injured, they can sue you. Okay? They can go after you. I don't know if you know the Florida law, but most of those folks that work in that industry, they know the laws. Okay? Even if they don't, if they picked up a dude in Home Depot that doesn't even live in this country, he can sue you. Did you know that? Yeah. So do not hire anyone to walk onto your property to work if they're not fully insured. EJD Construction is fully insured. They do it all. 305-433-4843. You want to add a second floor. You want to redo that roof. You want to redo the kitchen. You want to add a couple of rooms to your house. You want to redo that backyard. You call EJD Construction, man. Any kind of custom construction, any kind of custom home construction, home remodeling, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Right. There we go. Good stuff as always. Hope you all are doing well out there. Great stuff by Alan Poupart. Let's see, what else do we have going on? On Hill being captain, this shows that he does not have a huge ego. He might have taken a backseat in Kansas City because he did not need to be captain. Here, he is the elder statesman and needs to step up. He's been more than willing, Carlos. It's been impressive. You know, the way Tyreek is a little different than I expected, and I think he's shown a lot of maturity. While he's a fun-loving guy, and I'm sure he's diva-ish to a certain extent because most receivers are, but there's no doubt he's been so good at being a leader and setting an example and being the hardest worker out there. So that pushes everybody else. I love when stars are like that, because that sets the example. When you have a lazy star, that's bad. That's bad, dude. But when you have the hard-working star, the Jason Taylor type, which is what he is, Tyreek is, that puts everybody to shame, right? Because if Zach Thomas is willing to work and work and work and not stop, then if you're the lesser player, like, holy crap, how am I ever going to get there? Well, then I got to work as hard as he does. Or if not, I'm screwed. You watch Hard Knocks, and Dan Campbell, which, by the way, for the stage, his drama is just so perfect for this whole thing. But it's interesting how he says, some of you guys are wondering if you're talented enough or if you're not, or if you work hard enough or not. And we got to make decisions, and we got to make decisions on the guys that we can depend on. And you might be really talented, but are you dependable? And so go out there and do everything that you normally do. Do not let up ever. And that's kind of what the great players do. That was kind of his message, that even if you didn't make the team, keep doing it the right way, because that's the only way you're going to get somewhere. The second you give in, and the second you start being lazy, and the second you start putting off what you could do today for 3 days from now, or the second that you say, well, I only need to try half as much because that player is not that good. No, you need to try just as hard and shut that player down, so you show that you're doing your job and you're bettering that player. Their leadership is so important in so many levels. And it's important to set the right example. Tyreek has set the right example. I'm really, really impressed with Tyreek. I was so impressed watching him personally and watching that speed in person. That is sick. But then you see the athlete, and you see physically how he's built. And then you watch his work ethic. And every time he runs a route, he's running it all out. It's impressive. Jerry Rice used to run every route to the end zone. Didn't matter. It was a short bow out or whatever for 15, 20 yards, he'd turn it up and go to the end zone. And if he was at the 50-yard line, he'd go 50 more yards. If he was at the 10, he'd go 90. And if he was in the red zone at the 10-yard line, then he'd walk in the extra 10 yards, run it in probably. But that was his thing. And so when the greatest player of all time, Jerry Rice, is working like that, what the hell are you going to do? Standard set. And so I give Tyreek, I give Teron Armstead. They have come in, and yeah, they got the big check, and yeah, they're accomplished players, and yeah, they got their Super Bowl rings, but neither guy has acted like that. Both guys have acted like they owe it to their teammates to be leaders, to be conscious of who they are and who they're playing with, and the examples that they set, and all of those things. So that's kudos also to Chris Greer and his staff, that they went and got free agents, and it's not easy because you overpay mostly for free agents, but you got the guys that are willing to come in with character and set the example. And I give Tyreek Hill a lot of credit in that sense, that he has shown me that he's ready to set the example as a captain, along with obviously Teron Armstead. Christian Wilkins, I love as a captain. Landon Roberts, obviously. Javon Holland looks like he's captain material right from the get-go. Happy for Tua, the fact that he got, all the votes. And don't kid yourselves. It's what I told you earlier in the Poupart interview. Your coach, when I was talking to Cam about it, and he would say, well, players vote on it. Yeah. But your coach influences on how you vote. And players are easily influenced, right? You go look at every player for the Canes. How you do everything, how you do anything is how you do everything, all right? Or something like that. Mario says that all the time. Players repeat it because they're parrots. So last year, you got Flo, and I'm sure he's using Jason McCourty constantly as an example in a meeting room, on the field, this, that. So players gravitated and they voted for him. Same thing for Jesse Davis and Landon Roberts and all that. So he kind of controlled where you were voting and who you were voting for. McDaniel, I don't think did that. He allowed the players to be themselves. He allows Teron Armstead to be himself. He allows Tyreek Hill to be himself. He allows Tua to be himself. He allows Christian Wilkins, who is, as colorful as it gets, to be himself. And they end up getting, the votes. I think it's influenced differently, this group of captains, compared to how it was. I think what you got now is what really is coming from the heart from the players. What you had last year was kind of manipulated by the coach. And this is something that I think will pay off dividends in a big-time way. It's great to have disagreements. It's great to have feedback. It's great to have a different point of view. People see things differently. So you've got to allow somebody to give you a different point of view, because it could open your mind and say, you're right. We should do it this way. I was wrong for doing it this way. Oh, that's interesting. Whatever. Yeah, maybe we should tweak it a little bit. You got to be a little open for stuff like that. RedRecover.com, folks. The healing process. Sometimes you kind of rub it. Sometimes you put some ice on it. How about red light therapy? Red light therapy is something that's been around for a while, and RedRecover.com has done a great job of being able to create wraps and hats that will help you eliminate the pain and discomfort from an old injury, an operation. How about making a scar disappear? You just had an operation or some kind of an injury, and that scar needs to heal, and sometimes that scar stays with us forever, right? Well, red light therapy can help erase it, sometimes completely. I'm using it to regrow my hair, the natural yarmulke that I call for fun. I was developing it, and in the last year, I've been using it, and I've shown you the before and after effects, how My hair is growing back, and I am just absolutely amazed that I'm able to cover up a little bit more of the yarmulke, and I can actually hang on to my hair a little bit more thanks to Red Recover. You're having shoulder injuries, back injuries, shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain, elbow from tennis, knee pains, ankle pains. We've got the wraps for you. Your dogs, dogs sometimes develop hip issues. The red light therapy will help alleviate the pain, the discomfort, and maybe even the condition so your dog can live a healthier life, so you can have a better workout, so you can overcome old injuries like my man Sean Stanley, who has bone on his knee, and red light therapy relieves that pain and that tension and gets the blood flow going in that area. Go to redrecover.com. Check out the video blogs. Check out the blogs. Use my code Big O. You will get 10% off. All right? And if you want one of the hats, if it's not on the website, hit the contact us and send them an email and tell them you want to get on the waiting list for the hat because they may be out of the hat. Redrecover.com. Use our code Big O to get 10% off. Hour number 3 is next.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Rock and roll. Yes, sir. Troy says, if you were forced to hire a head coach, who would you choose between Flores or Gruden? You, Troy. I would choose you. I don't want Gruden or Flores. either way, my team is screwed. Screwed. By the way, thanks to Cutter's Edge, great sponsors of ours, new on the program, Will, Mike, all the great people at Cutter's Edge. And when they say expect excellence, that's exactly what you get. They're pretty close to finishing up our yard and revitalizing our home. And man, it is so awesome. And I got the putting green and everything in the backyard. Now, I got to make sure my dogs don't pee in the putting green, by the way, okay? Oh, man, that was good. It was, and let me tell you, call them if you want to re-energize your house, increase the value of your home. I don't know if you know this, but you can go check it out. You improve the landscaping of your home, and that improves the value of your home. Plus, it just makes it look that much nicer. And the important part is we kind of pay for our entire home, our entire property. And one of the things that Will was like, man, you pay for your backyard. And he was telling me you're not using it. And he's right. And so now I get to use the backyard. Now we're going to, have some cookouts back there, hang out, have the family over, all that kind of stuff. Little, maybe a little New Year's Eve get together, a little Christmas, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to using the backyard now. But listen, if you're looking to improve your home, Cutter's Edge can just add a dynamic you've never seen, and maintaining too, if you already have your property, tree trimming, landscape design, outdoor lighting. Maybe you want to add some of that, irrigation too, synthetic turf. The synthetic turf is awesome. And I got the one for the pets. So I got it for my doggies. Yesterday, Maiden, by the way, she was the first to leave a number 2 on the rug. So it was cool. Yeah. Oh man. It's the artificial turf will definitely improve. Do you know there's no maintenance to it. Just water it down and all that. That's it. There's nothing, bro. There's no maintenance to it. It's awesome. Awesome. And it looks so good, man. It looks like real grass. That's the best part about it too. You look at my backyard, it looks like real grass, but it's just, perfectly manicured. So it kind of gives it away, but there's no doubt. All of that improves the value of your home. And especially if you have dogs like me, not that I'm selling my house, and I don't plan on selling my house, forever. Be a long time, hopefully, if knock on wood. If somebody would buy it that has dogs and they see the backyard, they're going to love it too. Yeah. It's a lot easier to care for, man. The synthetic turf, and they add also this specific sand to it that helps for the temperature of the grass. It cuts it down 50%, which is great. So it keeps it cool for the dogs. Also helps in the drainage, the way they set it up. So when they pee, and so it all that stuff it's a positive. I'm telling you. So yes, it will improve overall. And yes, I saw the Kurt Warner video. I talked a little bit about it in the first hour. So if you want to check it out, all that, yes, I've seen it. Emilio says Baker got his bag and took a vacation. He failed to be selected by his teammates. Money equals 0 if you don't bring it every down. I do like that one. It's a good post. Oh, how much of Tyreek's leadership is Tyreek and how much is it McDaniel? I think it's all Tyreek and it's all McDaniel. Because, example, it was all Flo. Flo was being Flo. He didn't like Tua. So he made sure that he kept Tua shut down. So it's Flo being Flo and then forcing Tua to do what he had to do, which he could not be himself. So it's McDaniel being himself, allowing others to be themselves. So Tyreek cannot be himself if the head coach doesn't allow you. Tom Brady, Patriots, Tom Brady, Bucks. You see what I'm saying? So was Tom Brady in New England? Obviously not. He was programmed, and he had to be like that. Have you watched China? They just shut down another Providence. They had a scare with some COVID, and so they shut the whole place down. There you go, dude. That's the example. It depends on how you carry yourself and the environment that you create. We, on the other hand, in this country, we got common sense finally, right? The virus has gone through most of us already. Everybody's been vaccinated. We've watered it down. There's no need to have the same kind of panic we had with COVID because the death rate has completely come down. It's not nearly as tragic as it was early on. Fine, we move on. It's what it is, dude. It's environments that you create. And those people in China, they're trapped in a jail, basically. I saw a report yesterday out of that, and she said, well, it's not all bad news. They are now opened up for you to fly into China. You have to fly in, I think it's to, I forgot what city, maybe Beijing, and you have to you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. After that report, I'm like, okay, these idiots just shut down again another place. Like, who the F wants to go to China? Why would you want to go to that clown show? To go to a place that they could shut you down and put you in quarantine right away for anything? Get the hell out of here, dude. The hell do I want to go to a communist state for? Environment. So, playing for Flo was like playing for China, North Korea, Cuba. Playing for Mike McDaniel, you're American. Freedom. There you go. That's how we'll compare it. Big O, really enjoyed your interview with Dieter, showing young guys how it's done the old school reporting ways. Thank you, PDC. Appreciate you, man. Too Extreme says Big O is going to get turf toe from his own backyard. There you go. There you go. Got to work on my short game later on today. And if you haven't checked out our Michael Dieter interview that we got in the locker rooms, it was pretty good. I promise you, we're gonna get more exclusive interviews every week for you guys when we go to the locker rooms on Wednesdays. I will get more stuff for you. We're gonna have all kinds of material for you from the locker room. So thank you all out there. Rusty says, Big O, who is better safety in your opinion, Minkah Fitzpatrick or Javon Holland? Which would you rather have, or which is the better career? Rusty, you can't have both because one didn't come. You wouldn't have gotten the one because of the other. Okay? Here's what I'd rather have. Chris Greer. I'll take the guy that drafted X, that drafted Holland, that drafted Minkah, that found Needham. I'll take that guy. Okay, so he got Noah, and you missed probably on that one. But overall, Trill Williams is looking pretty good. Maybe this Cater Kahu kid is fine. I'm going to go with the guy that seems to know something about the secondary. Yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Greer. Chris Greer is more valuable than Minkah and Javon Holland combined because he's the guy that finds Minkah, Javon Holland, and X. So, what's this X's what? 5th year, 6th year, 7th year? What is X now? Now it's got to be like 6 or 7, I would imagine, right? So in the last 7 years, who's done better than X, Minkah, and Holland? Adam Sadowski is in. Thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, stopping by during work on this awesome Friday to smash the like button for an amazing channel. Fins up. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. But right, doesn't that? And he paid for the Byron move's a good move, but that's not a draft pick. So I can't add the Byron move to it. It's a good move because you added a good corner, but that's not a draft pick. So I'm just or a free agent that they added. I'm going to go with the players that he's added. Okay? Those kind of players that he either drafted or he got as a street free agent that he found, unearthed, in other words. So if Cater turns into a nice little player and Nick Needham and, I don't know if Trill can ever come back, but so you can find guys that aren't drafted and then you can also draft studs. Sean Stanley. Can you answer a question for me there, sir? Turn on the mic. Are you ready? Because I want to add something to this point here. What round was X drafted in?
I'm not even sure.
What round was Javon Holland drafted in?
I know that they're in the later rounds.
Second round, right? And Minka?
I know it wasn't first. I know they weren't first round picks.
And Minka?
Who?
And Minka?
Wasn't he a first round pick?
Late first round pick, correct? If I'm right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, right? Wasn't it late first?
I'm terrible with draft picks.
Look it up. It's a late first and 2 seconds. Those are all franchise type players. I'm just saying, right? Because I want to say Minka was late. Was it late first or was it early?
Some got him saying number 11. Saying no,
look it up.
11.
I thought he was. Was he that early? Oh well, then that's pretty good. Then you got to hit on him. If you drafted him at 11, then he's got to be Minka. He's got to be. I thought he was late first round. Look it up. I know X was a second, and I know Holland was a second. That's my point. That it's, you got pretty special players in the second round. How come I thought Minka was later? Now somebody says top 15. I don't know. You guys just guess some shit. I need to get the exact stat. I want the exact fact. What is it? Some of you might be right to set 11, but I can't trust it. I gotta hear it from Sean.
He was the 13th overall.
13th, okay. See, none of you actually look it up. You put 11 and you didn't even look it up.
And he was traded 17 months later for an 18th overall.
Yeah, so 13 is pretty good still. You should be, you got to hit there. Later first would have been a little bit more hit and miss. But 13, I'll give you where you got to be Minka. You got to be a damn good player if you're going to pick somebody at 13 overall. So I can't give what's it called? Chris Greer as much of a break on that one as I can with Holland and X, that those guys are second round picks and they're franchise type players. It's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty freaking awesome. That is just some studly stuff, man. I recall many up in arms when we picked Javon Holland. Guess they were wrong, huh? Well, not me, because I was when we were running onside, we had draft previews, and Javon was my guy, and I only had one safety in the draft preview, and it was Javon Holland. And there was a reason why, because I love Javon Holland coming out of Oregon. When they picked him, I freaked out. I was like, wow, they got my guy. That was cool. That was really, really cool. Let's see. What else do we have here? Wiki had it wrong. Well, you can't go by Wikipedia, bro. Wikipedia is not necessarily facts. Okay? Wikipedia is made by you and me. Yeah, so it's like you could go on to, I don't know, Dr. J's Wikipedia, and you can start changing stuff up, apparently, and, nobody would know the difference. Maybe they'll go back and fix it and all that, but, Wikipedia is made up of people like you and me, so it's not really something that you should use as facts. You should go to NFL.com, and you should go look at the draft history, or you can actually just put the name in the search engine, and their NFL.com page will come up, or their Miami Dolphins page will come up, and that's more of a point of reference when you can use something like that. All right, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, folks, because that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show. We have some faith coming in. Apparently I'm not the only one that has faith in Tua. Some of you out there have a lot of faith in Tua, but there's a whole bunch of you that have no faith in Tua whatsoever, right? But some people are actually betting big on Tua. How about that? MGM Sportsbook and Caesars had a couple of bets coming in Tennessee they came out of. And somebody bet $3,000 on Tua winning the MVP at 75-1. Someone else put $2,000 on Tua winning the MVP at 60-1. In Bet MGM, someone put $900K over the win total of 7.5 at -250. Somebody also put for the Dolphins $100,000 to make the playoffs at +135. I kind of like that bet. And then $10K to win the Super Bowl at 40-1. So if Tua and the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, that guy wins $400,000. $390 because he bet $10,000. Damn. I mean, I have faith in Tua, but what? That's some faith in Tua right there. MVP and all. I didn't have him picked as winning the MVP, but I do love Tua this year, man. I think he's going to be fantastic. I think he'll throw over 4,000 yards. I think he'll throw over 30 touchdowns. I think this offense fits exactly his skill set. Plus, his intelligence, his ball placement, his accuracy, anticipatory skills. I think all of that will be used in this offense, and I think he's going to excel. I mean, excel big time in this offense because he's a smart kid, and he can read defenses, and he can react quickly. And that, let me tell you, the one good thing that's come out of the shitty situation he was in the last 2 years is that he learned to read, not learn because I'm sure he knew, but he was able to quickly adjust to reading and reacting at the NFL level because it's a lot faster to read and react, decipher all of this at NFL than it is college, just like it is college from high school. Same thing. You have a step up, but then when you go to the NFL, it's 5 or 6 steps up. And if there's one thing that helped Tua out is that he will not be in the chaotic situations that he was in the last 2 years. So the fact that he'll have less chaos will be something that will allow the game to slow down even more for him. So it in a twisted way, it'll be slightly easier to play in this offense. Nothing is easy in the NFL. But if you have less chaos in this offense, less breakdowns, less pressure, and less hits, then it's going to allow Tua to excel. But some heavy wagers on Tua going on right now, man. It's impressive. Impressive. 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. As always, follow us there. Big O, what do you think of the steal of a trade the Cavaliers got? Congratulations to the Cavs fans and the Cavs. They ended up getting one hell of a deal and giving up all those picks. I don't think they gave up that much. Sexton is a guy that's had his injuries, and Lauri Markkanen is just a guy. He's all right. Nice rotational player. Nothing special. They got their 5 picks, 3 unprotected and 2 swaps, so they can move up in the draft if they can. In those 2, they have the options, but they got the 3 overall picks and they're unprotected. Very smart. The amazing part about that Donovan Mitchell move is how stupid are the New York Knicks? And to that I say, yeah, that's what I do with the Knicks. I laugh at them. I laugh at them because they're fucking clowns. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I laugh at them. Because James Dolan is a horse's ass. He's got a clown ass organization. And if you're a Knicks fan, you probably, as the late great Mad Dog would say, I'm sorry, all of you Knicks fans need to stare at your shoelaces and make no eye contact with anyone. You shouldn't be embarrassed. That's what it should be. It should be an embarrassment to be a Knicks fan. Why you're a Knicks fan, I have no idea. But you have 7 first-round picks. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're like the old cheap bastard that just worked his ass off, collected all that money, and then died with it all. And didn't enjoy it, didn't share it, didn't bring other, joy to other people or anything like that, because you just want to be a greedy bastard. I don't know. I mean, what are you collecting? It's like the coach that's saving timeouts, and at the end of the game, he's got 2 timeouts left, and he should have taken one in the third quarter. It's like, what are you saving them for, bro? They don't roll over to next week, you idiot. Can't take the money with you. What are you doing with the first-round picks? Do you realize you're the Knicks? You're a place that people don't want to stay? So it doesn't matter who you draft. They're going to leave eventually. Until you actually change your ways. You had an opportunity to get yourself a pretty damn good player, and you chose to be frugal about it. Now is when you're going to be frugal? When you have a shot at a star? That's what really stood out to me. Kudos to the Cavs. They got it done. They had the picks. The Knicks were idiots. They thought they had the driver's seat. They thought they were in charge. They thought they had Danny Ainge, and Danny Ainge said, hey, F you, bro. I told you what I need. Give me my picks. Give me my swaps, or that's it. He wasn't so interested in the talent. He was interested in the picks. And the Knicks had tons of picks. You already spent the money on Brunson. You got RJ Barrett. Dude, go bring Mitchell in and give yourself a chance. You have a nice team right now that might make the playoffs. That's about it. You don't have a team that's going to make any noise in the playoffs. You needed Donovan Mitchell to try to make some noise in the playoffs. Now, the Cavaliers, with their 3 young guys that they did not trade at all here, and they added Mitchell, outstanding move by the Cavs. The Cavs did what the Knicks could not do. And they're both clown organizations. But there's no bigger clown organization than the New York Knicks. Right? I mean, if we had to pick the top 4 clown organizations in all of pro sports, what are they? Knicks and Jets, for sure, right? Who else? Lions? Browns? Is that the foursome right there? Like they never win anything, anywhere, anytime? Because I know it's the Knicks. The Knicks are definitely one of the top 4 clown organizations in all of pro sports. They might be number 1. Jags? They're close. They're close. I'd give it to Detroit over the Jags, and I'd give it to the Browns over the Jags. Dude, the Jags made it to the AFC Championship game like 20 years ago. Have you seen that from the Browns or the Lions? No. The Lions forced Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson to retire. That's some shit. That's some shit. You forced 2 Hall of Fame players say, "Basta. Enough. It's over. I can't take it. Can't win with them. Can't play with them." Marlins have 2 championships in the last, from, what is it, 97 on? That's Tank. Come on, bro. I get it. You want to be a smart ass. Oh, let's throw the Marlins in there. They're cheap. Yeah. But they got 2 championships, bro. Come on, man. I know they're terrible. I get it. But they've accomplished a hell of a lot more than the Browns, the Knicks, the Lions, and who else did I throw in there? All combined, bro. I put the Charlotte Hornets in front of the Marlins. I get it, Tank. You're trying to be funny. You're not. Yeah, right. The Lions, I mean, I'll put the Charlotte Hornets there, bro. The Charlotte Hornets. Texans are pretty good, Carlos. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Who made it to the AFC Championship game in 2017? Who are we talking about? Who made it to 17? I'm blanking out right now. Who are we talking about? I wasn't trying to be a smartass, not funny, but since we're winning a ship, they have been a joke. Dude, Tank. Okay, if you weren't trying to win, okay, Tank, you weren't trying to be funny. Terrible call on your part. Absolutely horrible. Okay? Charlotte Hornets or the Marlins? Orlando Magic or the Marlins? Lions or the Marlins? Browns or the Marlins? I mean, I can do this for a while. Sacramento Kings or the Marlins? I mean, I can continue if you want. Yes, sir.
The Jaguars was the 2017 comment.
Oh, okay. Okay. It was 17. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. They had that good defense. Remember that? They had a nice defense. Yeah. You're right. But come on, man. Marlins they're terrible. I get it, but they have 2 championships. They've accomplished something. There's like a lot of teams that accomplish like nothing, dude. Like the Pirates haven't won since We Are Family. Like they suck. That's like a terrible, terrible franchise. The Arizona Coyotes in hockey. Oh my God. Talk about a cancer in sports. The Marlins or the Coyotes? Now, Tank, it was a terrible call on your part. It's you know what it is? It's a lazy call because we know that the Marlins are a shitty organization, but they've been lucky twice. They got lucky that they had Dombrowski build 2 teams to win titles. So we're lucky that they have accomplished something. But there's a ton of teams that haven't accomplished a goddamn thing, dude. Nothing. They do nothing. It's bad. Oh, speaking of the Marlins, if Sherman is going to be a cheapskate, why not sell the team to Moss or Ruiz, who will spend? That's a great point. That's a great point. Somebody on the beat needs to ask him, well, Bruce, obviously it's you're having trouble coming up with the resources that this franchise really needs in order to succeed. Have you ever thought of possibly selling the team to an ownership group that does have the resources that you need in order to succeed? I wonder how he would answer that. I wonder if anybody has the balls to actually ask him that. Yeah. Dan Pompey, breaking Bears president, CEO Ted Phillips retiring at the end of the 2020 season. Okay. I'm sure he'll be missed. I hope it's nothing personal, but job performance, I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, they lost a great one. Let's see. Tank, you have somewhat of a point, says Joel. Since that championship was what we've done, that was 20 years ago. I'm a huge Marlins fan. We are a laughingstock. Yeah, they are a laughingstock, but they've accomplished more. That's the thing. Hell, they were in the playoffs. That stupid playoff system that they had in the 60-game season 2 years ago. They had like one of the best outfields. Even with sorry ass Loria, they would end up out of the playoffs, but over 500. I'm telling you, they're not as you start the season as a Charlotte Hornets fan, and the season's over before it starts. You start the season as a Sacramento King fan, the season's over before it starts. You started as a Phoenix Coyote fan, it's over before it starts. You start as a Jets fan, it's over before it starts. The Knicks, over before it starts. It's like really, really bad. Like they accomplished nothing. Yeah, the Marlins haven't won since 2003. The Knicks haven't won since 1972. So, yeah. Big O, what about the Mario Cristobal era you're more excited about? Well, you got to go back to the first hour, I believe, and maybe the opening segment. It might have been about the Canes. That's the one you may want to hear. As you all know, we don't repeat the content. We move on and continue. Man, the Kings are horrible. It's crazy how they've done nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Tank. The Marlins actually accomplish something. As sorry as they are, they've run into a couple things. Dude, the Charlotte Hornets and the Kings and the Phoenix Coyotes and all that, they don't accomplish anything, dude. They do nothing for their fan bases. It is just terrible to be one of those fans. Sucks. And there are several teams like that throughout sports that you can pick in the different leagues that you have zero chance of surviving and actually enjoying anything. What else do we have here? We talked a little bit about the sorry ass Knicks losing out on Donovan Mitchell, which is just crazy. Is Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, is there trouble in paradise, is the question. Because reports are surfacing now. And you guys heard Tom Brady the other day, and I think we played the soundbite for you when he was, talking about why he was out for 11 days and, stuff going on in his world. And he had how would I put it? A very colorful way of expressing what was going on in his life. And for those of you that may not have heard it, let me Let me see if I can pull it up here and play it for you on Brady. Here we go. There we go.
It's all personal. Everyone's got different situations they're dealing with. So we all have really unique challenges to our life. And, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on. So, you just got to try to figure out life the best you can. And, it's a continuous process. So,
well, Page 6 is reporting now that the wife is not supporting this decision to go back to football. It says there's trouble in Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen's paradise. Sources tell Page 6 exclusively the model has left her family compound in Tampa for Costa Rica following a series of heated arguments over Brady's shock decision to unretire from the NFL while he has remained behind for the team training. Tom and Gisele are in a fight right now, source tells Page 6, adding that it's happened before with the couple, but they always have reunited in the past. The news comes after the Buccaneers quarterback missed 11 days of training camp in August. When quizzed about his disappearance, it's all personal. Everybody's got different situations they're dealing with. We all have really unique challenges to our life. I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on. A second source says there's been trouble in the marriage over his decision to unretire. Gisele has always been the one with the kids. They had agreed he would retire to focus on the family. Then he changed his mind, adds the insider. They have a fiery relationship. Gisele is a bit of a hothead. She has the Brazilian heat. During the offseason, my family got a lot of time. I've enjoyed that, he said. I can still do a better job of that. It's just constantly trying to be a little bit better each day. Addressing a 6-week retirement earlier this year, he added, every decision comes at a cost. So is there trouble in paradise? Is the question. Huh, Tommy boy?
it's all personal. Everyone's got different situations they're dealing with. So we all have really unique challenges to our life. And, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on. So, you just got to try to figure out life the best you can. And, it's a continuous process. So,
hey, Tom, tell me about one of the losses against the Dolphins.
Not much sleep, and you just have a lot of emotion after the game. So, just not a you hate to have nights like that, but you got to do something to change them. So, yesterday we had plays I certainly did that I should make, and I didn't make them.
That's right,
and,
bitch.
That's why you lose games. So, it's this week. It's got to be more concentration, focus, determination, attitude. Everything has to be at its top this week. Top, no injuries. I've said it like a lot. I feel good. There's no injury, no nothing. Wish I would have played better, and that's about it.
That's right. You lost. I had to save it, might as well just listen to Tom Brady, hate that he lost to the Dolphins that day. That's all. Just fun, These are things that I got to roll with. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I'm happy with it. What can I tell you? Anytime Tom Brady loses to the Dolphins, it's a good loss. It's a great loss. Big O, would you agree that it's time for Tom Brady to ride off into the sunset and retire? No, sir. No, he still can play at a high level. I wish him the best as long as he's not playing the Dolphins. I got nothing against the dude, but hey, listen, man, I don't want to stop anybody from living their dream. And if he still wants to hang on to, what he loves to do, which is football, God bless him, man. I just want the Dolphins to beat his ass if they face him. That's all. He needs to lose by 110 points to the Dolphins. GP Trap says she's Brazilian. I'm married to one. I understand. She's sweet until she gets mad as hell, and it can be hell. I can relate. But you want that fire. You want your woman to have that fire because it helps in other areas too. Because if they have that fire, they'll bring that fire to something else. You know what I'm saying there, gents? So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the Latin heat. You know, you get that woman that brings that Latin passion, that Latin heat. Brazilian, Cuban, Puerto Rican. They bring that salsa. You know, you're the chip, she's the salsa. It's a beautiful meal in the bedroom. Okay? Big O, I agree. If he can play, then God bless him. Yeah, definitely, man. As long as he loses badly to the Dolphins, that's all that matters. It's all that matters. Nyborg says Giselle should dump Mr. Giselle. She doesn't exactly need the money he brings in, as he's the junior earner in the house. Oh, man. Big O, I am of the belief that if the Heat ball out and go deep into the playoffs, it would be Spo's greatest coaching job. What do you think? Pablo, the 31-10 with the deadbeats, that was impressive, bro. That was a hell of a coaching job. With Whiteside and Johnson and those guys, and to go to 31-10, and you were on the brink of making the playoffs, I might call that his best coaching job ever. Dude, he beat like the Warriors twice in that season or something. It's just so stupid, the things that happened during that run. And we were like, is this really happening? Like, am I sleeping or something? Like, how is this team going on this run? So I've got to lean to that 31-10 half that he ends up taking them right on the brink of the playoffs. I thought that was a marvelous coaching job. It was so marvelous, it fooled them into signing these guys. It was such a great coaching job that he fooled Riley into thinking that those guys could do that again and again and again. And it's like, no, dude, no, it was just one of those things that happened once, Riles. Don't get crazy. And there you go. So I'm going to go 31-10, my man, as his greatest coaching job. I don't know if he could do that this year. Let's see. Miles Deep says very loud. Well, you listen, you know, orgasms can be loud. Is there anything wrong with that? I'm not, there's nothing wrong with a loud orgasm. It's just an exclamation point that you're doing a good job. That's kind of the way, that's the way I look at it. You don't need to be, like in Porky's. I got to use an old reference because there's no new one. Where you're trying to, muzzle up Lassie. Scream, sweetheart, scream. Let everybody in the floor know you are having fun. Then you walk out the hotel room in the morning. Your neighbor walks out at the same time in the hotel, looks over. Yeah, that was us. Yeah. Yeah, we're happy. I'm happy. She's happy. That's it. Story goes on. I saw something the other day that had me thinking, most overrated player in the NFL. Oh, God, that's a long-ass one. Brett says, just remember to say the right name during a loud O. Yes, you must say the right name. Or just don't say any names. Just scream God. Oh, wow, fantastic. Or Spanish words or French words or whatever beautiful language you use. That way you're in the safe zone if you just use adjectives and not names. Just remember that, folks. Okay? Because a slip could happen to anybody. Maybe you didn't even mean it. But just think adjectives. Don't think names. That's all. Adjectives. Sounds. Moans. Screams. Yelps. Don't yodel. Yodeling and sex does not go together. I just want you all to know that. Ladies, do not yodel while you're having sex. That may not be what you want. That's like not watering a plant. It'll shrivel up. Okay? They don't do that at Cutter's Edge. They water plants. Okay? All right? After Cutter's Edge does their job, everything springs up. It's very active. Right. It's like Blue Chew. Exactly. You think the Heat should go for Miles Turner or John Collins? Big O. Yeah, Christian, if you've been listening to this show all the time, I've been after the Miles Turner thing for a while. That's I've said it. I want Miles Turner first. Then I want Miles Turner first and John Collins second. And then what was it? Harrison Barnes. Who's the other guy that's available or might be available? But those two, I think the other guy might be my third guy. But I really want Miles Turner. That's the guy I really want because I think it adds a lot, the 3-and-D to this offense. Yater says, what's going on, Big O? Quick question. What are your predictions for Tua as far as passing and TD yards? Said it many times, over 4,000 yards passing, over 30 touchdowns. Team will win 12 games. I'm going 12-5, and I'm standing by that. Okay? Come to think of it, Pat is smart, and watch him make a move in February, then we'll see. Pat's the best, bro. Hopefully he'll make a move. Hopefully they'll do it. Did you guys see the Pitt Panthers? Did you watch this at all, Sean, the Pitt game? Did you watch their celebrations? No? Yeah, so when you went like this, that tells me you didn't see it. So they have a new turnover celebration at Pittsburgh, okay? Let's take down the Cutter's Edge block there for a second. And here it is. The turnover hoop is called. Yeah. This is some lame ass shit right here. The turnover hoop. So they literally have a little hoop there, and you bring the football and you dunk it, and everybody jumps up with you. I am so glad we got rid of that stupid ass turnover chain. It got to a point where it was annoying. It was a nuisance. It was an embarrassment. When you would get a turnover and you're losing, you have nothing to celebrate. And that's from this me type player that we have too much of in sports. Let me tell you something. This is a silly ass celebration. This is just stupid. Now, mark my words here. Okay? Are you ready? I'm not wishing this on anybody. We had a kicker for the Arizona Cardinals blow out his knee because he made a kick and then he jumped up in the air, and when he landed, he blew out his knee. I'm trying to remember the guy's name now. Somebody's going to blow out their knee here. I'm not wishing on it.
Grammatica?
Was it No, I don't think it was Martin Grammatica. Did Martin Grammatica have a brother?
Yeah, it was a brother, I think. The Grammatica brothers, I think it was.
Okay, so then it was Grammatica. If he has a brother that played for the Cardinals, then yes, that's what it was. Yes. Because I remember that he had a brother. Maybe somebody might remember. You know what? Just do me a favor. Just Cardinals kicker blows knee celebrating. Tell me who the kicker is. It'll come up right away on the headline if you put on the search engine. I know it.
Bill Grammatica.
What is it?
Bill Grammatica.
Okay, so that's Martin's brother. You nailed it. You were right. That I was going, when you said Martin, I go, did he have a brother? That's why. And so, yeah, Bill Grammatica. And he celebrated, and he blew out his knee. And it's a stupid little thing. Now, let me tell you something. You and I can blow out our knees coming out of the shower, stepping out of a car, stepping on a rock, whatever. I mean, it's the dumbest things how we all get injured, right? Seriously. It's stupid. I blew out my groin getting out of the car in a Van Halen concert at the Amway Center in Orlando. I remember and everything. I will never forget in my life. I take out my left leg to get out, and boom, I felt something. And I get up, and I'm like, man, but I walked, and I was fine. And then after the concert, dude, oh, my God, I had to drag my leg to the goddamn car. Luckily, it was the left groin, so it didn't hurt the driving with the right leg. But I got to and I had that for months and months and months. It took forever for my sorry ass to heal on that. And so that's why I'm saying that this is dangerous. It's silly. It's a ridiculous celebration. It's like some of these stupid commercials that you sit around, you go, like, did the marketing department think this was like a good idea? Like, this is a good commercial? You do that all the time, right? When you're watching some of these commercials, like, really? Was that going to sell anything? Like they stood around and said, hey, why don't we bring out a hoop and dunk the football and everybody can jump at the same time? When did they think that was a good idea? Somebody's going to land awkwardly. Someone's going to land on someone else's ankle. I don't wish it on anybody. I hope nobody from the Pitt Panthers gets injured this year doing that stupid-ass celebration. But it is a stupid-ass celebration, and you have now put your team at risk because of a stupid-ass celebration that is not needed whatsoever. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. How do you like that? Okay? Just like A. Lenny Locksmith. You can call them anytime, anywhere in South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie. They do it all, man. You get locked out of your home, they can take care of it. You get locked out of your car, they can take care of it. You need to reprogram your keys for your car. They can do that too. They do it all. In fact, they were here recently. I had add new locks to our side doors on the outside of our house. And they came quickly, did it, and moved on. And that's what I love about A. Lenny Locksmith. They're also in Tampa, in Orlando, and in Phoenix. Call them 561-284-5090. That's 561-284-5090. Call them anytime, 24 hours a day. ALennyLocksmith.com. William, thank you, sir. He says, Big O Show is the number one source for sports news and commentary. Thank you, William. Appreciate you, my brother. From Cutter's Edge. Call them. Cutter's Edge, baby. They will take care of you like they took care of us. Tell you, I gotta work on my short game this weekend. Thanks to Will and the great people at Cutter's Edge. I love it, man. Good stuff. Thank you, Will. You're absolutely amazing. What else do we have going on here in the world of sports? And congratulations again to FIU. Tomorrow, UM taking on Bethune-Cookman at 3:30. Inter Miami is off till next week. They're not on this weekend. Marlins will start a set against Atlanta. We talked about Lenny Locksmith. We like to, Sean, let's lock something down. It is time to lock something down, okay? Because we're going to switch it up now. Our lockdown segment, we're going to give you a pick in our lockdown segment. We're 29, 19, and 1 in our last, what is that? Almost 50 games there, man. Right there, 49 games. 29, 19, and 1. That's pretty impressive. We are going to give you our lockdown segment right now between the Marlins and the Braves.
Time to lock. Lockdown. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
All right. We're on a roll. Well, right now, tonight, Sandy Alcantara is on the mound. He's 12-6 with a 2.13 ERA. Pitching well lately. Johnny Morton or Charlie Morton. I'm thinking Johnny Morton, like the receiver from the Lions and USC. Braves, Charlie Morton on the mound. He's 6-5 and a 4.10 ERA. The over and under on runs in this game is 7. Atlanta is favored by a run and a half. They are minus 175 on the money line. Miami is plus 145 on the money line. Tonight's game, look, Sandy, I know, has been pitching really, really well overall. I just, again, don't trust the offense for the Miami Marlins. And it looks like to me, Don Mattingly is headed down his final month, which good for him. He needs to move on. I don't think he's a great manager anyway, but it's hard to work in an environment where they're really not committed to winning. And so I'm going to lay the run and a half. Even with Sandy there, I just don't think he'll end up getting the run support that he needs. Charlie's a pretty damn good pitcher. He's had success against the Marlins. I'm going to ride the Atlanta Braves tonight, and we're going to lock it down with Atlanta minus 1.5 against the Marlins. That's our lockdown segment. Thanks to ALennyLocksmith.com.
The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
A story that goes like father, like son. Let's talk about that. Sometimes we've watched the Belichick coaches leave the tree and they all fail, right? Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels. I mean, they all end up failing, and some of them end up coming back to the tree unless you're Flo, that you end up like serving up the guy that mentored you and screw him over. But that's something that Flo likes to do. He likes to screw over the people that help him, like he was screwing over Chris Greer. And now he brought over Jesse Double Agent 77 Davis over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He convinced them to trade for him. That dude's already trying to do personnel directing there. That's freaking amazing. Stanley Wilson Jr. has been arrested for breaking into a home, allegedly took a bath in a fountain. That's right. Ex-NFLer Stanley Wilson Jr. has been arrested once again for breaking into a home. This time, he's accused of taking a bath in an outdoor fountain after ransacking the place. LAPD says the former Lion cornerback broke into the $30 million Hollywood Hills property on 2 separate occasions, most recently on August 24th, when he's accused of moving and damaging items. During his second alleged break-in at the residence, we're told Wilson took a bath in the outside fountain with soap he found from inside, causing $5,000 worth of damage. The police arrested Wilson both times. He was charged with 2 felony counts of vandalism, 1 count of second-degree burglary. We're told there are no ties between Wilson, the property, or the homeowners. And it's not the first time Wilson broke into someone's home. In 16 of June, he was shot in the abdomen while trying to break into a Southwest Portland residence while naked. He was also arrested again in Portland in January of 2017 for allegedly walking around a neighborhood naked. This guy's really into nudity, bro. He's into it. 1 month later, Wilson was sentenced to 10 days in jail for the 2016 incident, plus 3 years probation, mandatory drug treatment. He also had to pay restitution for damages to the home and write an apology letter. That really helped out. So, from the not falling from the tree deal, well, you know, this is where it becomes full circle. And for those of you that are old enough, the San Francisco 49ers played the Cincinnati Bengals here at Hard Rock Stadium. It was called Joe Robbie Stadium back in the day. And back in the day, his father, Stanley Wilson Sr., the night before the Super Bowl, the former 9th-round pick of the 83 draft. He was a running back then. He wasn't the primary back, but he was a backup. And during that time, well, he ended up getting arrested. He ended up arrested for cocaine on the night before the Super Bowl. And so it was one of those things where I think it was labeled kind of like a cocaine haze, where Stanley Wilson arrested the night before. And this happened twice here in South Florida. When the Falcons came to play, Eugene Wilson was arrested the night before also. So Stanley Wilson Sr. had his issues and his demons. And then now you look years later, decades later, you fast forward, and his son has had a lot of issues where obviously the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So it was a sad story that only gets sadder, unfortunately, because clearly both men had some personal demons that they could not handle. Crazy ass story, man. Crazy ass story. I saw with Junior, and it was like right away you remember seeing. If you're old enough, you go, "Is that the same guy? Is that the son?" And sure enough, Stanley Wilson Sr. and Stanley Wilson Jr. Just wow. The year the 49ers played the Bengals for the Super Bowl was the year the Dolphins lost to the Chargers in that famous playoff game. Yes, I know. Sucks. I know. Oh, am I going to the UM? Oh, no, I'm not going to the UM game tomorrow. No. I will watch it on television like a lot of you will. Brett says, Big O, your show is much more than just sports show. It's an informative show about life in general and is so well done. Good, sir. Thank you. That is very nice of you. Not as well done as the work of Cutter's Edge, which, by the way, I forgot to mention since Will was chiming in on Cutter's Edge. We're still in hurricane season. So if you need or if you want to redo your yard and you need a tree removal, they have tree removal specials. Go to cuttersedgepro.com, and they've got permit pulling at 50% off. So check it out there at Cutter's Edge. And if you're looking to redo your yard and you want to increase the value of your home, call my friends at Cutter's Edge. And by the way, they also have their show every Sunday at WIOD. You can listen to them. I believe it's at noon, if I'm correct, Will. You can correct me on that, but they do it's on their webpage also. But go check it out. And if you want a free landscape consultation, call them at 954-472-0622 for cuttersedge.com. All right. So make sure you check it out for yourself there. What else do we have here that I wanted to talk about on the program? Oh, yes. I got something that I wanted to talk about. When sports and business collide, folks, we like doing something here that is called the KSDT Sports Business Report. All right. Now, this is kind of a sports and / crypto one. Crypto companies are reversing on sponsorships. Well, Crypto.com now backed out of a 5-year sponsorship worth $100.6 million annually with the UEFA Champions League, according to Sports Business. A drop of over $2 trillion in the crypto markets from November to June, which today I think they just got over $1 trillion again. plus another major hit last week, has caused a course of correction among crypto exchanges. Rival crypto exchange FTX reportedly pulled out of a jersey patch deal with the Los Angeles Angels. Why would you want to be associated with them anyway? Well, they got two players that bring a lot of attention, so I get that. Another crypto company backed out of a deal with the Washington Wizards. Again, the Wizards, really? The bankruptcy of crypto exchange Voyager left a deal with NWSL, one of the largest in league history, in limbo. Voyager was also a partner of the Dallas Mavericks. There you go. Voyager may be bought by Binance, so look out for that if you have any money in Voyager. Anyway, so the cancellation in transactions represent a reversal on what's been the biggest emerging trend in sports. Crypto companies spending billions of dollars on sports sponsorships. They got ahead of themselves a little bit here, and now we've had all of this happen all over the world, which has set everybody back. Stocks and crypto, and now it's working a little bit on real estate, and obviously the dollars all over the world are also suffering from all of this. So everything is, so now these crypto companies are now backing off. And this is why I've told you guys over and over again, like I told you the last couple of months, get your money out of the exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. So get a hard wallet, get a wallet offline, get a cold wallet, in other words. Like a Ledger, like a Trezor. I use Trezor. Get something like that and move your coins off the exchanges. I don't care if you have them on crypto.com, on Binance, on OKCoin. I don't care, FTX, you name it. It doesn't matter. With what's happened with Voyager, with what happened with Celsius, with what's happened with a couple of different, crypto DeFi and exchanges, you need to protect yourself. And keeping your coins on an exchange is not going to help you, because if that exchange goes down, they lock everything down and you lost it. And you've got a chance. There's a lot of people that have lost their money on Voyager. Okay. I had money in Voyager myself. I was able to take out most of it because they had bridges for most of the stuff I had, except for my, I do have some money that I'm losing in Voyager. Well, hopefully not, but it's not a lot. That's the good thing. I got lucky, but I've been moving it out. And let me tell you, as I've told you this, in crypto.com, the staking goes for 90 days. And I stopped staking almost, 2.5 months ago when I told you guys to start taking stuff off. But I could not take it all off because I had to let it expire on crypto.com. Now, they're not having real big issues, but I'm actually, and it's a countdown for me, I'm 11 days away from taking all of my investments out of crypto.com and moving it to my cold storage wallet. But I can't do it until it expires. But I have 11 more days, and it's like, let me tell you, it wasn't comfortable when I had 50 and 60 and 80 days. I was like, oh my God, I want to get this money out of there, but it's frozen. It's locked. I can't touch it. So I've been fortunate. Any of you that have been on crypto.com, you're fortunate too, because they seem to not have those kind of issues like Voyager, but you've got to be careful. So this is a situation where sports, business, and crypto collided. And that is our KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Thank you all, as always, for keeping it locked in. You guys know that I am a big-time Star Wars geek, right? I've shown you all different things that I have of Star Wars in my studio and all that good stuff. I want to say, was it Ray or forgot which one of you guys? One of you brought me a Star Wars shirt, actually, over at Craig's Inn. Might have been Ray. not exactly sure now. Now you get all confused. But anyway, if you watch Star Wars, the original, no matter what age you are, Han Solo has this scene in the Mos Eisley in the cantina where he's got this bounty guy that is, trying to either collect from him or actually take him in. And he unclips his, holster and he kills him right there. And he shoots him with his blaster, right? So that blaster, that original blaster from Harrison Ford, from A New Hope, based on a German pistol from World War II, the DL-44 heavy blaster pistol was a prop, one of 3 made in the 1977 movie, and the last one known to exist. It was a key element in the scene where Solo takes out a seated showdown with a bounty hunter, Greedo. That's it, Greedo, who dies from the exchange. Well, director George Lucas, upset by fans by recutting the scene for a 97 reissue to suggest a different sequence of events from that scene as the original movie leading up to the Han shot first fandom movement. The Rock Island Auction Company announced the blaster auction with an expected price range of $300,000 to $500,000, but eventually it sold for $1,057,000. Arguably the most iconic movie firearm of all time. It remains in fine overall condition, and it's converted to a non-firing for blanks only that a lot of descriptions read. Do not miss the opportunity because we all know hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. So all that good stuff. So there you go. Over $1 million for that blaster, dude. That's crazy, man. That's impressive. $1 million for that blaster. Holy moly. Damn. Are you a Star Wars geek, Sean, at all? Or do you just know? You watched it? Did you like it at all? Or okay, so you watched it, you like it. You're just not a geek like me. So I wonder how much people would, like the average person, like you told me that was used by Han Solo. I can't afford that. I can never afford that. So I was thinking to myself, what's the max I would pay for that? And because it's a talking piece and all that, I was thinking maybe $250, $300. After that, I would go, man, it just gets too much for me. It's like, I know some of you would probably pay a lot more because maybe you have more money, you're more comfortable, and God bless you for that. But it's like $1 million. Damn. It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money to just sit there. $1 million. That person has got to be absolutely rich. Rich. They have the Edge. Not Cutter's Edge, but Edge energy drink. And by the way, if you do want the finest energy drink on the planet, go to myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. And use our code Big O to get 10% off. myedgedrink.com. You cannot find it in stores, but we deliver it right to your home. myedgedrink.com and use the code Big O to get 10% off. I'm sure Mad Dog will be having a green lizard wherever he's at as he watches the Finns this year. Yeah, I'm with you. Hopefully he's sitting there watching it with Jason Jenkins because he knew Jason Jenkins. And man, Monday, I don't know if I'm going to go or not. Maybe I'll go and I'll have a hat and glasses on and I'll sit in a corner somewhere and cry like an idiot and try to stay away from people or something. I don't know. I just, that's going to be so emotional on Monday at the stadium for any of us that were around Jason, because it's just something that we can't explain. None of us can explain because it's not fair. It's just not fair, man. So many idiots are still around with us and terrible people and all that. And they take a great, great, great human being, great father, great person. Just so rough. So I hope the Mad Dog and I hope Jason are enjoying that beer together, man. That's what I hope. Big time. Big O, do you think the Cheetah will break 1,000 yards? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think both he and Waddle will cross 1,000. I really believe that. I like this offense. I like this offense a lot. All right, we are out of here. We got to thank Cameron Wolf, Manny Navarro, Alan Poupar, as always. Sean Stanley, the man that masters this program every single day from beginning to end, working his ass off. Without him, we are lost, baby, and we love him for that. We will see you guys on Monday. Maybe I do something crazy tomorrow for a couple minutes. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Can't promise you anything on that, but definitely we'll be back on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great and safe weekend. Go Canes, man. Go Canes. Let's start it off well and clean and professional. Love you all.
This is the Big O Show.